Oh yes, legends. How's everybody doing? Hope you're doing fantastic. Let's analyze the situation here all together for the price of Bitcoin. Make sure to absolutely destroy that like button, guys. On your way in, we'll be analyzing here this situation for the price of Bitcoin altogether. Is it going to pump? Is it going to dump? We are forming here this interesting range, which in my personal opinion is going to fail to move to higher levels and end up rolling down, guys. This is what I see on the chart. I'll be explaining that throughout the next coming minutes. Of course, you might see this as a Adam and Eve cup in handle with the neckline. This is without a doubt a dangerous zone where we have a fair value gap where the price either pops to the upside or it actually fails to break to higher levels, guys. So this is a decision zone for the price of Bitcoin to see if we are going to claim the lows here of yesterday, getting below 86,700, or will we manage to pump and fill the fair value gap and actually go to higher levels. There is liquidity slightly here to the upside, but there's more interesting liquidity to the downside here. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Place your bets, leave it in the comment section. All right, first of all, of course, before we talk about bets or any of that, we need to say that this content is only for educational purposes only and not financial advice, guys. The information provided is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decision. Said that, let's go through the comment section, say hello to the beautiful community. We are uptrending today, okay? We are uptrending. Not liking this to be a bullish move to the upside. So let's see how we hit certain levels, okay? SFP is available. It is possible from the recent lower highs. On some exchanges, we already hit those highs. However, on Coinbase, on spot exchanges, we did not hit that high with this wick that we had this morning. We got a little bit of a SFP on some future exchanges, bringing a little drop of $500-600, but the momentum is building up here. So double bottom, Adam and Eve, breakout or fake out, and we roll over. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comment section. Let me go quickly through the comments. And today we do have Solana. We do have Ethereum that we'll be taking a look later on. Of course, Bitcoin is king. We want to analyze Bitcoin overall. And then throughout the stream later on, we'll be taking a look at Solana, interesting levels on the higher time frame, and also Ethereum, okay? Possible projections. Let's say hello to the absolute legends here in the comment section. Okay, hello, sir. Namaste. Chiran, much love. How to master Elliott Wave theory. Many ways. There's lots of free ways. Website, Elliott Wave. If you put Elliott Wave on Google, you're going to have many websites, okay, available. Elliott Wave Principle book is the main one. So yeah, there's many ways of learning Elliott Wave theory, okay. Mohammed, much love to you. How are you doing? Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. God, make it happen. Sweep it. Mohammed, much love. I am here. Hum says so. Much love. Staffer One, much love to you, brother. Thanks for joining the stream. Andy, how are you doing? I'm doing great. I hope you're doing absolutely wonderful. Getting ready for the end of the year, guys. No matter if you've had a great year, a bad year, let's make 2026 a great year here together, guys. If you are going to be joining the live streams and learning technical analysis, looking for possible setups, okay, let's make it great. What I got to do when life strikes me. Short is option on New York Open, a dump to take the low, heat map flashing near 85, 86K. That's kind of like the easy scenario, right? Lots of liquidity here below 86, 86.5K. That is the, one of the scenarios that we're looking at, right? We've got a bunch of liquidity to the downside below 86K. And we do have that little bit of liquidity above 88.1K. So do we get that fake out? Do we pump? This is what's going to be looking interesting here, guys, okay? Just such a crucial neckline right there. Let me just go quickly through the comment section. This is the fake out territory where I am interested in SFPs. We are building momentum to the upside. The movements down are looking quite corrective. I would say that we're going to, possibly test those highs. So let's see if we do get this on the live. It's kind of perfect timing here. And analyze the situation, because I'm very interested in sweeping up these highs I'll be explaining a little bit of my favorite structure, the one that I shared with the pro community. Of course, the levels are the levels. If they're not respected, we need to manage risk accordingly, okay? I'll be going through that now in the next coming minutes, okay? I think we still have some time here before any big movement. Still quite boring for the last few hours in this range at 88K, slightly below, slightly above. Let's continue through the comment section and we'll break down the price of Bitcoin right away. Let me know if you can hear me, see me. If the music's too loud, if it's too low. And yeah, we'll crack on here eventually with the comment section right away. What's up, Andy? Meme Cap, much love, my man. Nice to see you join on many streams here. You think 94K is possible before the end of the year? You know, eventually it is possible. I would say it's unlikely, right? We only got 2 days here left for the end of the year, not even that. So yeah, not even 2 days, guys, less than, yeah, just over 24 hours. So getting above here, I mean, that would be a surprise pump, right? Before the end of the year. It literally needs to move like this, right? This is the 1st of January. It's an unlikely scenario, but who knows, right? Surprise pump for the end of the year. I don't think it's going to happen, my man. We've only got just over 24 hours left. So that would be a little bit of wishful thinking, in my opinion. Under 80K next month, says Fred Sloan. Got some people, you know, quite bearish, looking for this to be a kind of a bear flag correction scenario. Staffer One, much love. Ashil, much love to you. Simple 3 Jack, how are you doing, my man? Much love. Nice to see you around. Rag Capital, how are you doing? ¿Qué tal, tronco? Espero que todo esté bien. I hope you're doing well as well. Rag Capital, espero que estés bien también. Milo, good morning. Hello, hello. Alex, hey guys. Ash Wave here. Yuxuan, Staff One, Daniel Singleton, afternoon, my man. Much love to you. Long fellow follower of the channel here. Always joining to check out the analysis. Meme Cat is the best meme here. Okay, maybe. Oh, okay, what you mean about Meme Cat here, who's in the comment section. Alex, February 1101111. Hello, Andy Love from India. Rak, much love to you. Okay, let's analyze the situation here, legends. Smash up that like button if you do enjoy the content. And Bitcoin looks like it wants to attempt to hit the highs. Now, if we want to take a look at, you know, classic kind of formations, which I was a fan a long time ago. I was a fan of these double tops, double bottoms. I'm not a fan of a double bottom that doesn't test the low. The fact that we did not test the low here and missed it is very disturbing. I do not like this to be something bullish as a wave 1, wave 2, building up here multiple 1-2s to get the breakout in a wave 3. Man, it is not common to get down to hit the 0.9 Fibonacci, which is a target for a flat in a B wave. And I'm a little bit more of a fan of seeing this as a 3-wave up and a 3-wave down. Not this being a wave 1, okay? Being more of a wave A. And this a wave B, and wave C is on the development here. That it's probably in the, you know, throughout the next coming minutes, even, right, throughout the next hour or so, I do believe it's gonna try and break out this fair value gap, right? Look at this massive candle on the 15-minute, right? Not much resistance, not much volume. The price of Bitcoin likes to miss the lows or miss the highs. I would really see, you know, a good chance that we're going to test these highs, and it's either going to be 2 options here. We smash out because there's no volume, basically no major levels in this area, or it's actually going to get that kind of fake out scenario and then roll over, which is my favorite one, I have to say. It's probably going to happen here. If we did not claim this low, okay, this one right over here with this movement down, if we are looking for flats, the highest probability flat is a regular flat, which takes out this high that we had from the bounce and potentially hit the 1236 Fibonacci extension, not managing to reach the 1.618. That is if this count is correct, because obviously you would have the bullish case scenario, which is 1, 2. You're building 1, 2s, you break out in a third wave here, right? And it ends up forming 4, 5s, right? You just continue the momentum to the upside. I want to see fake out here. The 1, 2, 3, 6 extension is like the max level zone for the flat structure, which is coming in at $88,500. So this is going to be a decision zone. It's going to be a decision zone that we will get on the live stream, I think. Let's hope, right? Because it would be a little bit of a shame if it rolls from here. So it's liquidity grab. Let's try and claim that little liquidity that we got slightly above 88.1K all the way up to 88.5. If not, you know, the rest of the big liquidity is sitting above 90.5K. So, and then we got lots below the lows here of yesterday at 86.6K. So can we form that flat? I'm going to say, you know, it is the most interesting pattern that we do have right now. Of course, we got the double bottom, right? The Adam and Eve. Anybody that's not aware of the Adam and Eve, guys, let's show that pattern here for all of those classic pattern traders, right? It's an Adam and Eve, you Wally. It's going to be breaking out here, the neckline, and absolutely explode, right? Because we do have a sharp move down, a bounce to the resistance, and now we have a very slow round formation, right? Which is the right bottom. It's nice and round and nice and slow. This is what we call an Adam and Eve. That's where you leave a fair value gap, and it's the point of reversal or fail. I want to see it fail, if I'm honest with you. And this is a zone where we manage risk, right? We don't like to see massive momentum breakout here and fighting the uptrend unless we reject at specific levels, right? Which in this case would be the neckline. It's gonna attempt to hit those highs. So we're gonna get ready for a possible position here. It's either SFP. If we do break through levels that I'm looking at here on the Fibonacci is from wave, you know, possible wave A to the wave B, 1-to-1 extension that was missed here on Coinbase. We did not hit it early this morning or a few hours ago. If you break that level, the next level that I'm watching is the 1, 2, 3, 6. So if you do not reject from the 1-to-1, you know, obviously if I entered on a rejection here, I will, you know, be quite defensive. You know, I'm looking for the rejection from here. If it breaks out and we maintain above this level, I have no interest in shorting. Okay, it needs to reject from the recent highs. If it moves up, I let the price go. It's all about taking the decision at the right moment. I know people want to catch the absolute high, but this is going to be my scenario right now. SFP of the highs, possible entry. If it does not SFP, the next level I'm looking is the 1, 2, 3, 6 Fibonacci. So let's see how we move up. If it breaks, sitting on my hands, guys, no short taken. This is the moment of taking action on the possible SFP. I do not like the bullish case. Okay, I do not like the bullish case, which would be a wave 1, wave 2, multiple 1-2s. There we go. We're getting the breakout now. We're getting the breakout. Is it going to extend? It looks like it wants to extend. Do we get the SFP? For the moment, I am not interested. I'm sitting on my hands at the moment. Do we get the SFP or we do not get the SFP? We're going to have to see. What do we do? What do we do? Do we get continuation? Wick of the highs. Going to remain a little bit patient. If it needs to reject, it will reject. If it needs to reject, it will do so. So there's no rush here. We are above that neckline, super important neckline. We've got the Adam and Eve speculation or the failed breakout. So we'll go through the comment section, guys, but the action and the setup is just happening right now on stream. So just remaining a little bit patient. No rush. If this is going to fail the breakout in this zone, the projection for me is pretty clear. It's coming down to the lows. So there's no rush. Get a bit of weakness. It's okay if we do get a leg to the downside very aggressively as well. You know, the risk to reward is massive. Okay, so we don't need to go extremely crazy. So we got the rejection here. It's a valid entry. Stop loss at the high. Valid entry, guys, I have to say, as we move down. I wouldn't risk too much. So this scenario right now is looking like this. I can afford a stop loss. If price decides it wants to go higher, I can afford a stop loss because this is the projection that I'm looking at, okay? I'm looking at this projection. It's a good risk to reward. It's a realistic risk to reward. I can afford another stop loss and I can afford another entry, okay? If the price decides to move up to test the highs and the 1, 2, 3, 6 here, which I will decide if I want to enter again, okay? So that's a little bit of what we're looking at here at the moment. Looking at the 15-minute, we swept those highs, didn't get follow through. Let's take a look at CVD. Look, we're back above, so it's not looking that great. I wanted to see a clear rejection here. Wanted to see a pretty nasty move to the downside. Let's see if we do get a little bit of weakness here on this rejection. We're just going to jump in on the 5-minute. What I don't like is that we got a little bit of increasing volume, a little bit more volume on the 5-minute here, more than this one. This is something that I do not like. I want to see decreasing volume as we do hit higher highs. I don't want to see, we got increasing volume as well as we test the highs, which is not the greatest sign. Not the greatest sign. I want to see decreasing volume eventually from this pivot, because what I want to speculate here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 scenario. Okay, the fact that we got increasing volume is not helping. Let's take a look at CVD divergence. Hopefully there's going to be a lot of long positions. On Bybit, there's not many longs entering at the moment, which is what I do not want to see. I want to see, yeah, on Bybit, US dollar tether is looking pretty good. There's lots of longs entering here on Bybit US dollar tether, which is creating those bearish CVD divergence, right? We've got the highs here in the blue, higher highs right there from lower highs from this region. That's a good sign. So there's longs entering here at the resistance, speculating on that Adam and Eve double bottom. Preferably the price does get a rejection already. The longer it takes for the rejection, it means there's no selling pressure entering in this zone. Yeah, preferably these SFPs are pretty aggressive. And by aggressive, I mean you kind of wick the high, get below, and you do get a drop to sweep up the lows, then potentially a bounce, right? Very corrective, and then follow through. The fact that it's not rejecting strongly is telling me that there's not much selling pressure coming in right now. We got New York Open in 5 minutes, so it's a little bit tricky. New York Open, we know it can get a pop, it could get a move down. All right, let's see if the price does want to manage to get that rejection already, as we do have the main pattern that I'm looking at is an ABC flat. You know, my eyes bleed if I want to see this as a wave 1, a wave 2, and, you know, wave 3 getting developed, which would have to be a series of multiple 1-2s here that ends up breaking out. You always need to consider the bullish case eventually, which I'm not liking here on the range locally, I have to say. Not a fan of this being a bullish structure. Understanding that, yes, we could claim the highs one more time and then, right, get the kind of breakout that ends up being a fake out. And 1, 2, 3, 6 would be my sweet spot to treat as an SFP, because what I'm looking at here is a possible regular flat, right? Not an expanding flat, because an expanding flat, ideally you do claim the lows of the A wave, which hasn't been the case. And you would be looking for the 1.618 extension on an expanding flat. So ideally this is a regular flat, which is the most common targets is the 1-to-1, at least sweep up the highs, which we've done already, of the A wave. with the possibility of hitting the 1236. Okay, so it's like either rejects here or either rejects here, and it's time to manage risk in this zone. If we do not reject, I got one more bullet, okay, to attempt the short. If not, we just fill the fair value gap, right? What can we say? It's a zone to be defensive. It's a zone to be cautious, not go too crazy. The risk to reward is pretty great. Okay, the risk to reward is nice, which is actually coming down to sweep up the lows here. So we don't need to go too crazy. We don't need to go, you know, this is a day trade, right? It's a trade that could play out. If it doesn't play out, you know, it's a stop loss. We move to the next one, right? But this is basically what I'm looking at here. The rejection, I mean, there's no major, you know, big volume here, right? Throughout the end of the year, we're not getting any interesting massive moves, unfortunately. We've got New York Open now in 3 minutes. A little bit dangerous, I have to say, on New York Open, because New York Open always have that initial start of volatility. Hopefully it is going to be down. If it is up, then I'll have to accept the stop loss and look for the 1236 rejection. Hopefully New York Open starts with a major drop. So which, you know, probably gives Bitcoin that movement to the downside. Interesting zone. This zone in the box is a zone to manage risk. Okay, I can afford one stop loss here. I can afford a stop loss easily, because the projection, if it does play out, we are looking to sweep up the lows here, right, of the last few days. The fact that we formed this shallow higher low is very, very interesting. 3-wave up move to the upside. I think it's the best scenario. Of course, it's a zone to take action, right? It's a zone to take action. It's a zone to manage risk. When we think about bullish scenarios, right, I like to look at the bullish scenarios, never be too confident on a trade, right? Have a favorite scenario eventually and know how to manage risk. But then I always like to take a look at the bullish outcome, right? We got a fair value gap. There's low volume. The price could really slice through this zone. We got the double bottom Adam and Eve, right? Which kind of looks super sexy when you take a look at the traditional classic Adam and Eve pattern, which is a sharp move down in a nice round formation. We're just retesting that neckline where we have the fair value gap. So it's like is it going to break out or is it going to fake out? When I combine Elliott wave theory, it suggests that this double bottom is not going to play out. The main reasons is probabilities are low for this to be a wave 2, and it favors the chance of this being a wave B. As we come down to the 0.9 Fibonacci from this low, it favors a regular flat, which comes to the 1 to the 1 to the 1 to the 1 to 1, or the 1236, which is slightly above us at 88.5. So let me know, guys, what do you think this is forming? Double bottom, it's going to continue the momentum of today, and it's going to break up. We got New York Open right now. Let's get that New York Open with a dump. Come on, New York. Oh, New York starting here with a little leg to the upside. Not that we have direct correlation, but it helps if New York Open is going to be bearish, if I'm honest. It does help. Okay, it does help. Preferably we do roll over here later on here. I prefer getting a dump on New York Open, if I'm honest, just to favor the scenario here for Bitcoin. If we do get some momentum building up here in the next hour, not going to help for, not that there's exact correlation, it's just something that I prefer eventually, right, to get that rollover. So it is successfully for the moment getting the SFP of that neckline. Let's see. We need to start claiming here these higher lows. Come on. We have seen some bearish CVD divergence on the formation here. When we take a look at Bybit US dollar tether, you got some higher highs on the CVD, which is an initial good sign. Lower highs on price action, right, from the recent lower highs that we had here on Monday. So let's see if it does get follow through. Getting a bit of a bouncy scenario at the moment. New York Open wants to pump. It wants to pump by the looks of things. It's attempting to pump. That's not what I want to see here. Would have been nice to just get the rollover here on New York Open. Would have helped with that rejection on Bitcoin. So let's see. Let me know in the comment section, guys. What do you think here with this pattern that we have currently right now on Bitcoin? Do we end up failing the neckline, which is, we've got some initial signs on the formation. Would have been nice to see some longs, aggressive longs entering here on Bybit, which is not the case. Would have been nice to see a few million long positions here at resistance getting trapped, but it's not the case. It's not the case. We do have it on Bybit US dollar tether, which is good enough that we do have some higher highs on the CVD here. Quite a lot of longs entering here into the neckline. Interesting, dangerous fair value gap, We want to see that rejection start claiming these higher lows. That would be an initial good sign for the price to potentially get continuation here to the downside. It is the failure point. If this is not going to be it, we've got one more level that has a possibility, which is the 1236 Fibonacci, right? Just to get those shorters that have entered here on this SFP, you know, slap them out. But yeah, this is already acceptable, of course. As mentioned, the idea is this, okay? The idea is this. So it's a longer move to the downside, not helping here with this rejection. Preferably would have been nice to sweep these higher lows already. That would have been a good first initial sign. Claiming these higher lows would be already a good sign that this could be the local high. But for the moment, it is still wanting to maintain that bullish momentum here to the upside. Let's see. So it's either this one, in my opinion, good risk management, good risk to reward, analyzing the situation here about this being corrective, this maybe being an impulse already finished. Flat scenario is what fits better in this zone. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see, guys, throughout the next 1 to 2 hours. Preferably we already start rolling over. Let's see. Not a bad start here with the rejection. New York Open wanting to pump. New York Open wanting to pump, wanting to come and claim the lower highs. A bit of a triangle-y scenario here. So. Come on, Bitcoin, let's get that dump. Let me know in the comment section. I'm going to go through the comment section. What do you think about this move? Or is it a first attempt fake out before the breakout? This is why we manage risk, guys, right? We can have some speculative scenarios, some projections. It's pumping. New York Open with that pump. Local pump, nothing too major. Little pump on the NASDAQ of 0.1%. Bitcoin coming back here. Let's see if we do get a test of the neckline. If not, it's going to be managed risk situation here. Managed risk situation. Would be happy to re-enter on a local double top, or if not, enter at the 1236 extension. And if it breaks out of the trade and we just let the price go and see what's going on, right? Low volume on Bybit, very low volume. Bitcoin wanting to pump here, not gonna test the the neckline again. Let's see if it does get a back test, and it does reject. Possible back test is there. We do have a possible back test possibility here. If we sweep up the highs, going to be out of the trade, and I'll be watching the 1236 extension. Remember, this is a larger projection. This ain't a scalp. Maybe some people wanted to treat it as a scalp. Get in, get out, right? On the higher lows. I'm taking this more as a day trade scenario on the possibility of coming down to hit the lows in the next coming hours. Yeah, not wanting. Now we got the back test of the neckline. Let's see if it is the back test or the breakout, right? Fake out and then the breakout. Now I want to go through the comment section, see what the people are thinking about this move. Let me know right away. Do we end up breaking the fair value gap, or do we end up rejecting here, guys? It is the moment of truth. Let's pump to 91. Damn, you're bullish. Yeah, we've been very, very rangy. We might get that new year blast off pump to 90K, right? To 91, 9, even higher, right? New year blast off for Bitcoin. Yo, Andy smashed big time. Bring the good stuff again. YouTube in 2026. I know, much love to you, brother. Thanks for the kind smash up here and the kind comment. 100x short now. If you're doing it with a few dollars, I mean, that's okay. Manage risk accordingly. It's not about the leverage. It's about how much you're willing to use here, right, on the possible projection. But man, it would have been nice to get already a big rejection on the first attempt. I accept back tests. Back tests are common, right? Just like an SFP that we did get a few days ago, that we did get a back test, right? We talked about this back test on the live stream, right? It's like, guys, if we do not successfully SFP from this low, right, and, you know, really get a higher low here and then continue the momentum, when you form that SFP, you might get a cheeky back test, right, which is what we are speculating on at the moment, right? Back test is acceptable. So you form the SFP and you get a cheeky back test for anybody that is actually being defensive on their trade and wants to get out. Maybe if you have that kind of protect position feeling, it's because you're risking too much, right? If you're risking too much on one trade, when you lower your risk, you'll feel comfortable in getting stopped out, right? I can get stopped out 100 times, right? If you're risking a 1% till you actually burn your account. So some people can only afford to get stopped out 4 times or 5 times because they're risking 20% of their account, right? And that's a little bit too much. You need to have a little bit of more dry powder. So SFP, right? You want the price to really rally like crazy, but sometimes you get the cheeky back test of the SFP level. Okay? And that's the moment you just want to be a little bit patient. If you're managing risk, it's all good, all nice. So fast forwarding right now at this zone, there we go. We got the back test of the SFP. Maybe this is the one that actually takes a little bit more momentum. Come on, we need to sweep for those higher lows at this point. Let's go, Bitcoin. Prove yourself. Let's see what NASDAQ is doing here. Oh, it is trying to break down here a little bit of this little range that we got of the last couple of days. It wants to. That will definitely help Bitcoin to get the momentum down here based on the probabilities. So if we do get that little breakdown of this little triangle structure coming from a downtrend on the NASDAQ would be nice. It would help Bitcoin. Not that there is any direct correlation, but sometimes there is. There we go. We're just not faking out from here, these higher lows. Little SFP on the NASDAQ right there as well. Just testing those lows, getting a little reaction. Come on, Bitcoin. It's not wanting to reject. It's not wanting to lose the uptrend momentum that we do have from today. Not wanting to lose that momentum. it definitely has a chance to roll over. Okay, it definitely does have the chance. What can we say? It's the neckline, SFP. Bullish scenario doesn't look that attractive. The bullish scenario doesn't look that attractive. So let's see. So far so good, guys. So far so good. We got the cheeky back test. After a cheeky back test of the neckline, which has just happened a few minutes ago, you really want to see that price failing already. Okay, let's see if that is the case here. Much love to everybody. Smash the like button. Rotation incoming. Gold is shifting the bed. Shifting the bed, I said, because we can't read that out loud. Breaking out of this pattern is very often fake. Very often fake. Very, I prefer the bearish case, if I'm honest. Yeah, just mixing here with Elliott wave theory. Of course, I like to consider both scenarios, but I will never long the breakout of a potential Adam and Eve. I want to long the bottom, the double bottom. That's all good, especially when you test the lows. That's the best scenario, SFP of the lows, double bottom. But when you don't test the lows, I would rather try and attempt to short the fake out instead of a breakout, right? Get the fake out, and it obviously comes down to the lows, right? Which is a lot of the stop losses are going to be, in this zone. It's one of those patterns. It either breaks up or it fakes out and it rolls over to the other side. I'm a little bit more in favor of the fake out. I'm more of a fake out trader, which is looking for SFPs, right? And, obviously combining with Elliott wave theory, it's not looking pretty about this being a 1-2. So naturally, the best scenario is really failing at this point. You could give it a few attempts. The problem is when before you reverse, you like to wick out the short traders. So I wouldn't be surprised here of another pump and then it actually dumps, right? And it's like, damn, what? Screw you, Bitcoin, right? You just didn't want me to enter this short. So naturally, there's going to be some short attempts here. Naturally, there is. That back test failed for the moment. We wanted to see the rollover already with that candle. Sometimes the information that, when you get that information, it would have been nice for that back test to literally push down a little bit more. Push down, right? And then get the choppy corrective bounce. That is not the case. I don't like that. We're still maintaining the uptrend momentum of today. No bueno, no bueno. Nasdaq holding here this higher low with that SFP at the moment. Nasdaq, stock market would help eventually if it were to push down. Let's see. There is selling pressure coming in here. There is some selling pressure coming in. But will it be enough? That is the question. Anyway, let's go quickly through the comment section. People can trade this as they wish eventually, right? Sometimes I just explain my it's all about managing risk, okay, guys, as well. Managing risk. Don't go too crazy. This is, in uptrend momentum throughout the day. And it's testing the neckline, okay? It is obviously this neckline is that resistance. Of course, if you break this zone, this is the moment you don't want to be playing around with shorts, okay? Because I know how a lot of people would want to treat this area as I'm going to add short positions in this zone. It's going to fail. It's going to roll over. I'm sure. We're never sure, guys. I'm never sure. Okay, so the best friend that I have is my risk management. I don't want the price to test the highs. And there's only going to be one more attempt that I will look for the short. That would only be a nasty move up to squeeze out those shorts, which does happen, and hit the 1236 extension, which is the target of a regular flat as well. Okay, that would be coming up to the 88.5k. So I am aware of this scenario. I would be happy to reattempt this short only if it gets up here and it rejects. I'm the kind of guy that was short round over here. Not wanting to reject here, guys. Not wanting to reject. It doesn't want to. It wants to break. It wants to break. Let's go to the 1 minute time frame. Cheeky, cheeky, cheeky. We don't like so many tests of the level when you're uptrending, right? You don't want to see so many tests. When you SFP, you want to see the price really getting a strong rejection. It's not wanting to reject. Yeah, a double back test is not preferred. I do not prefer a double back test. So thinking about an exit here at break even. I'm gonna give it one more chance here to roll over. If not, I'm going to be happy to exit at break even because I don't like a double back test of a neckline. Yeah, it looks like it wants to pop. We're going to give it one more chance. What's Nasdaq doing? It's bouncing. It's swept out those lows and it's bouncing. A few longs entering here. So if we get any local bearish CVDs, a little bit of local bearish CVDs. Yeah, it seems like it wants to pop. Movement down. It's exactly at the SFP zone. Back testing the level. It looks like it wants to test the highs. Yeah, no selling pressure here. I think I'm going to do a quick exit. Yeah, I'm out of the trade. Out of the trade. For the moment, if we do get that SFP, let's not a bad attempt, but it wants to pop out here. It does really want to pop out. No success, rejection. We are maintaining bullish structure. Probably going to be another attempt. I'm going to treat this as another possible fake out. Let's see. Let's see. One, two, three, six extension is going to be my next level. Unless we double top. Okay, so let's see. It's breaking out here a little bit to the upside. Nasdaq fake out of the lows, swept the lows, pumping here. This is not going to help Bitcoin, of course. If we get a bullish momentum, it might just sweep up the recent highs. It's very, very rangy as well here on the Nasdaq. Very, very rangy, so you can test lows, test highs, unless you get follow through. Yeah, I'll be watching the 1, 2, 3, 6 extension, which we are wanting to reach here with the 50% Fibonacci. Managed to exit here before getting stopped, guys. As mentioned, I don't like a double back test. You know, sometimes we need to be defensive, realizing if it does not reject, do not fight the momentum that we are getting today here. So momentum is continuing here to the upside. It was a good attempt. We did attempt it. Sometimes you need to be defensive. Obviously, we're going to probably see some longs entering right now for that double bottom Adam and Eve. breakout, we will be forming some pretty aggressive bearish CVDs on Bybit US dollar tether. Longs entering here, attempting that breakout. Let's see the 1236 extension with the 50% Fibonacci from this downtrend momentum. If you are going to form a regular flat, it is not common to get to the 1.618 extension. So, and if we do break through the 1236, then we're probably looking at something else, guys. Okay, so not something that I'm going to fight here. So we're currently at the 1236 extension, currently at the level at the moment. Not SFPing quite. We're breaking out with high volume as well, something that we want to be aware of, but that is very, very common for a C wave of a flat as well. You do end up with high volume. For the moment, we are above the 1236, so I'm not interested here. Not interested. If we get follow through, then this is it. We just continue to the upside, right? Ended up being that double bottom, Adam and Eve, breaking out so far. So sitting on my hands, guys. We're not going to fight this breakout. It did not SFP from the 1236. That's what I wanted to see, and it's not doing so. Increasing volume. We get the push out. Looks like it is going to end up in a successful breakout. Let's see if, this is like the last zone. But yeah, this is pushing out with some pretty increased volume. Yeah, not interested in doing anything here at the moment. Eventually, I wanted to tap and rejection to enter. No tap and rejection. Will it reject in this area? We're gonna have to see. The 1236, 1382, I would say, is also a possible target. But yeah, we're gonna have to see some weakness here in the next coming minutes. All right, if we don't see a bit of weakness, if it is gonna end up rolling down, we need to see some weakness here. For the moment, the price is popping out, so I'm not interested in doing anything at the moment, guys. Here, not interested. Not interested. Breaking out, high volume. Ended up being that double bottom, Adam and Eve, by the looks of things, unless we reject from here. Fair value gap. This is the danger zone, as explained. Danger zone of breaking. You either fake out from it or you either break out, right? Increasing volume, which yeah, I do like the idea that we're getting some bearish CVDs here. So let's see if we do get some weakness. There's going to be time to enter. If we do reject, there will be time to enter. But man, this volume move to the upsides is a little bit, yeah, I mean, it is almost as big as this one right over here. Obviously, you can see the continuation that we got later on. No rejection, continuation, so no shorts taken. No shorts taken, guys. It was a good attempt on the first SFP. The next level was not respected, which is the 1236 extension. If you break that already, we're probably seeing something else here on the formation. Lots of bearish CVD divergence. Of course, trying to catch this as the high. Make sure that you understand that there are some risks attached to this as well. Stock market just testing the highs of the range here at the moment. Be a little bit cheeky extended regular flat. 1.618 is not common to hit on a flat if you did not take out the lows here. So a little bit in doubt here at the moment if we are going to get that rejection. So we swept that liquidity. Let's take a look at the liquidity here at the moment, guys, which we are sweeping up. So we are sweeping up that liquidity and that we had very recently here to the upside. Most of that liquidity has been swept. Yeah, it's not a bad zone to get the fake out, right? This is the moment where you might see a lot of people entering late longs as well on the breakout of the Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve classic pattern, guys. There it is. Adam and Eve. Right over there, right? You got the spike move down, round formation. The neckline testing, looking for the fake out, ends up breaking the zone. Just because you have no volume here either, right? There's no major resistance. Unfortunately, we had the projection of the C wave, but for the moment, it is just moving up. Unless we get a strong rejection here at this point, then I would consider the rollover, right? The overall game plan here is to sweep up these lows. So, the idea of the short is good, but when you break out like this with increasing volume, it is sit on your hands, right? Sit on your hands. We're not rejecting from either any of the fib extensions. Probably looking at something else. I have to say, this range hasn't been that easy for me to look for the setups. It was a good attempt, guys. Not a bad attempt. Sometimes, you need to understand that if you don't reject at the levels, you don't enter. This is why this is a danger zone. Exited this position. If we did not reject at the 1, 2, 3, 6, you can't fight the scenario, right? This is why risk management is super important. Understanding your execution, your guidelines. And if the guidelines are broken, there's nothing to do, right? So, going up, yes, sir, it is. Nasdaq is getting a push through. So fake out of the triangle low. And it looks like it is attempting to break the highs here, but it could be a double fake out as well. Fake lows, fake highs. On the Nasdaq. Let's go. Yeah, Bitcoin at this moment, I would class as this level. It's just gonna scratch, not even scratching the golden pocket. It is a tempting level, I have to say, the golden pocket. It hasn't been tapped. The golden pocket from the movement down that we had yesterday. It is tempting. We haven't hit it yet. But this is dangerous. It does look like a pretty successful breakdown. But you know what the price has been doing throughout the last few weeks, right? Pump, dump, back up, pump and dump. Is this going to end up being another pump and dump? It's very, very speculative eventually at this moment, especially considering that there is lots of longs entering at this moment on Bybit. Bybit now has kicked in with lots of longs entering. Oh, this is what we want to see. Lots of longs entering here. Pretty late longs entering here on Bybit. I think these are mainly ones that are getting stopped out here. Open interest is going down, so yeah, lots of stops here triggering here on the Bybit, on this pump on Bybit. Golden pocket at the moment, a little bit overextended to consider any shorts here. Really fighting the pump here is not my preferred scenario if you don't SFP at certain levels. So yeah, let's go through the comment section. We got a tap at the golden pocket. This would be the moment of truth eventually, of either if it is going to reject or not, or continue the momentum. Anybody that may be entering the golden pocket touch. I have to say, golden pocket is the most respected fib. Kind of an acceptable sniper here. Can always easily, on the rejection, manage risk very, very well here. But I have to say, by now, you've hit the 1.618 extension. Barely missing the 1.618 extension. So the flat scenario is still on. Lots of longs entering right now throughout multiple exchanges. you're still still having those higher highs on CVD, lower highs on price action. It is potentially the rejection zone. This would have to get a pretty solid rejection in the next coming hours to start looking weak. But golden pocket is an aggressive sniper entry. Golden pocket is an aggressive sniper entry, I have to say. I would really be defensive if you manage to get in on the golden pocket, guys. I have to say, it's always an easily managed risk management situation here. If it does get a strong rejection, guys, we do have the possibility still of taking out these lows in the next coming hours. We know how Bitcoin has been treating us throughout the last few, 1 to 2 weeks. It's been a pump and dump fest here. So I'm not liking this to be bullish, if I'm honest with you. Still favoring the possible flat, even though it's overextended a little bit for my taste. Almost hitting the 1.618 extension. So let me know in the comment section, is this breakout successful? We are going to go to higher prices, plus 90k. And even 95k, guys, in the next coming days. Or are we going to solidly reject? Golden pocket was a difficult one. Well, not a difficult one. I mean, if you were ready to sniper the short on the golden pocket, still believing that this is a 3-wave corrective structure. In this case, it would be the flat scenario. And the target zone is coming to sweep up these lows. Oh. If we get a double fake out here on the Nasdaq and it ends up breaking down, that would be the ideal scenario. Consolidation triangle, fake out, bang. I mean, this would be the best outcome for the price of Bitcoin to is it going to happen, guys? Is it going to happen? Oof, big rejection here at the golden pocket. Something bullish here. What would be rare? Something bullish here would be rare for the price. I am still favoring here. Still favoring the possibility of coming down to sweep up these lows, guys. I do like it, of course. The thing is, on an ABC, if it is going to be a flat ABC here, it is true that the C wave likes to end up with a high amount of volume. Not sure if anybody managed to get that golden pocket, but this is actually a pretty interesting projection that could happen in the next coming hours. Might take several hours actually to actually get the weakness. Well, this is really the moment that you want to see some pretty nasty price action to the downside. And this is obviously going to take a few hours. This ain't no scalp. This probably could take many hours between, today and early tomorrow morning or so, that it actually rolls over to claim those lows. This is of course, you got the neckline right now, which is what we are testing. Not a fan of getting into the neckline here, but yeah, when you go with the traditional technical analysis on the patterns formation, right, such as this Adam and Eve, the retest of the neckline, right, is where you want along. I'm not a fan of this, guys. I'm seriously not a fan of this scenario. But technically, we broke out from the neckline, and we are testing the neckline right now with this drop. So technically, we're testing the neckline of the Adam and Eve right now, and it's getting a reaction. I'm not long in this. I'm actually in favor of the ABC flat here, and we go down. You take that with a grain of salt, but anybody that is trading any classic breakout test of the neckline and long, yeah, not me anyway. So let's see if we do get some weakness here. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. Nice rejection in the end here on the Nasdaq of the range highs, range lows, range highs. Ideally, what would help Bitcoin eventually is the Nasdaq coming down. It would give it a little bit of a help, right, to actually continue this dumpy action to come and visit $86,700. Let's see if it does so. This is eventually going to take many hours, guys. It's not something that or it might take less, right? Sometimes the moves, I do enjoy more the moves to the downside. They're more ferocious than the movements up. When you take a look at this movement to the upside, it's a little bit more staircasey. Of course, it did have that volatile move, but this was more aggressive, right? The moves down are more, shorting is more enjoyable than longing, because longing, it usually takes a little bit of more, unless you're in a massive bull market, of course. But as we are in bearish market, we are ranging. This movement to the upside does not look promising to get continuation and hit this high. I have to say, I'm favoring here the scenario. Whoever managed to catch the golden pocket is an absolute legend. That would be epic if we were to get the rollover. I got in pretty aggressively, just under the golden pocket. I was in doubt. But you need to have more levels, right? More plans here to consider. I do realize that the price really wants to push through all of those shorters, right? It's just very, very classic that you have some levels, some SFPs. I know, stopped out at break even here, not managing to get into the rejection of the 1236, which is the common zone, 1236, 1382 of a regular flat, and hitting the 1.618 extension is not common, which we did not hit. We missed it by a few dollars, and this is the extension from this movement. This movement up that we had yesterday is very three wavy. This movement down is very three wavy. This would be an impulsive move with a fifth wave extension, which is kind of okay in a C wave. But sometimes these movements to the upside are very, very unpredictable for the fifth wave. You're expecting a shallow fifth wave because it's what's most common, but then you get a extension fifth wave, which is actually nice for the flat, because flats usually have a kind of a neckline and it looks like a breakout, and it's kind of nice to get that. You're going to get people shorting this zone, and you're going to get them worried and squeezed out to then just get that fake breakout pump and end up rolling down to test the lows. This is what I'm favoring at the moment here, guys. Well, I'm not sure what you're favoring, but you might favor that this is going to be a solid back test of the neckline, and it is actually going to pump from here, which is currently what is happening. We just that neckline of the Adam and Eve is testing right now the neckline, and it's reacting to this zone. So I wouldn't blame you if you are attempting longs here, with stop loss above the last higher low potentially, which is very, very trappy, of course. But I wouldn't blame you if you're attempting a long position, because it is coming down to test the neckline when it's actually wanting to hold. If we were to lose this zone, then I would favor more downside eventually. It's my favorite scenario as it stands at the moment, even though the C wave, the potential C wave, this is not an exact science, of course. It would be nice to see that roll over at this point. When we consider this a possible impulse, when I take a look at timing, because timing is important, we just crossed the 2.618, I think, extension in time. Yeah, this would be ideal right now. Here we have the 4-to-1 timing, which you don't want to start being 4 times longer on a correction from your impulse. You don't want to be more than 4 times longer, because then you're probably looking at something else. So anything before 4 times longer is good. This is why this is orange and this is red, right? 5 times longer is obviously, forget about it. Probabilities are decreasing significantly when we take a look at the waves. You might think all of this nonsense and we only rejected at the golden pocket. Why so much effort on trying to look at the the probabilities and the scenarios? Yeah, dude, we just hit the golden pocket, man. That's it, right? Well, we like to go a little bit down the rabbit hole and look at eventually the probability side of things as well. The problem here for this to be something bullish is, man, this range has not been easy. Let's say that. First of all, anybody that is interested in trading, of course, we do have Bluffin, which is one of our, the main exchanges that I use. We also have Velto, which is absolutely awesome. This is a decentralized platform which you just connect your wallet directly. You can use MetaMask, Ledger, and you have full custody of your funds, which is kind of the future in my opinion, because an exchange, obviously it's centralized. I know a lot of people are going to be opting for this in the future. Velto has lots of liquidity and it connects directly to your wallet. Okay, so you have full custody, right, of your funds. You got the second link down below, and I got a surprise for all of those people that sign up either to Bluffin or to Velto using the link down below. Okay, I would say on the 31st tomorrow, but I think there's not going to be much people on tomorrow's stream. I think it'll probably be from the 2nd of January. But we are launching a new product that we've been working on throughout the last few months, which eventually is going to include setups, because I know a lot of people are more interested in setups, even though I'm totally in favor of education here, guys. Education is what you need so you can actually identify these scenarios on your own without help of anybody, right? So education combined with setups is something very, very good with news and cryptocurrency, different opportunities. It's a product that we're launching, and if you sign up with the link down below, I'll be leaving the Telegram in the next coming days, entering into New Year. You will send me a DM, of course. You'll be in direct contact with me, and it's a product that we want to outstand from everybody else. We want to be the best of the best, guys, and to be the best of the best, right, you need to beat the best. You need to beat the rest of the people that are using moving averages and triangles and all the different, other patterns and other stuff, right, which are very, very basic and easy to understand, and try and be that cherry on top, right, that is obviously looking at different, more scenarios, of course, and looking for, more education, more content, more extended education eventually on technical analysis. Anyway, we are visiting that neckline. Okay, so anyway, make sure to use one of the links. You'll be directly in contact with myself. I will leave the Telegram down below in the next couple of days into New Year, and you'll be getting a bonus, of course. Okay, those people that sign up, okay, and send me the DM, will be getting a bonus, of course, and that is promised. All right, let's go right away through the scenarios. We are trying to bounce from the neckline. Struggling very much here. Nasdaq getting the drop back down to the lows of the range, so it's a double fake out. Fake the lows, fake the higher low support, fake the lower highs resistance. Breakout traders not having a good time here, right? Breakout traders, I'm going to short the breakout, I'm going to long the breakout, then yeah, it ain't happening. It ain't happening, at least here, right? Let's go through the comment section. That neckline on Bitcoin wanting to hold here. the neckline wanting to hold here for Bitcoin. Tish. I believe it's not going to hold, legends. We need to do higher time frame. We need to take a look at Solana later on, guys. I've got so much here, and we're just looking at Bitcoin on the 5-minute time frame, 3-minute time frame actually. But it's a possible failed move to the upside. I'm gonna favor this scenario. Anybody that missed out on the golden pocket, I think the bounce here is going to be. But this is the thing, right? When the price wants to go, it probably couldn't just go, right? But if you missed the entry at the golden pocket, I got into the cheeky short just slightly below the golden pocket because I was going to give this a chance of not successfully moving up. But yeah, ideally, if you miss the short at the golden pocket, you want to get into the bounce. You know, some kind of a poor bounce here would be the ideal. 50% to the 7/8 Fibonacci from the recent highs to the recent lows. I am favoring more the short, guys. I'm not sure if you noticed than actually the long at the neckline. I am favoring shorts. Not a fan of this neckline with this kind of structure. I'm not buying it, guys. I'm not buying the bounce at the neckline. Let's go. At what level did you short? The entry was a bit crappy, guys, I have to say, and I did go in a little bit aggressive. Just slightly below the golden pocket. I'm just going to try and put here the tab inside of here. Slightly below the golden pocket. And I am going to target the $86,800 range. This could be the short before the end of the year. So it didn't manage to catch the exact golden pocket, but decided before getting this drop. Yeah, let's see if it wants to. Roll over from here. If we do get that bounce, I think there's going to be an acceptable entry. Stop loss at the highs. I mean, this projection is looking for the lows, okay? So it is looking for these lows to be tested in the next coming hours. If that is not the case, well, I don't know. Maybe we bounce and we go and test the highs, and I don't know what could be on the formation here, but not that I have something ready here. I'm not favoring a 1-2, 1-2. Your second 1-2 is much longer than this one. It's just kind of the perfect storm here for a flat. Getting Nasdaq dropping to test these lows and possibly breaking down is without a doubt going to help the weakness on Bitcoin. So let's see if we do get that movement down. But yeah, I mean, catching the golden pocket is one of those levels that you just like. I didn't manage to get exactly at the golden pocket rejection. I was a little late into the short, but this is not a zone that I would want to enter the short as you're testing the neckline. So there's a quick decision gap here of, you got a minute here to decide if you want to attempt the golden pocket short. Obviously, your stop loss always becomes above the golden pocket. But yeah, as mentioned, there was a few attempts. Not that this golden pocket was one of the main scenarios. The 1236 extension or 1382 rejection, what was a plan, but I didn't manage to get into the short because we're just breaking out, right? If we would have got, a reaction on this to enter the short and stop loss here, obviously looking to be defensive, if we were to get a bounce, it ends up being a successful breakout, right? We did not reject either at the 1236 or the 1382. So this is super important to take the decision. When we hit the golden pocket and you get the reaction, it's like, yeah, still believing that this could be the scenario that is in play. You want to obviously consider the short, right? This is why, there is a couple of entries, right? I can afford a stop loss close to break even, or at a loss. Really, it doesn't really matter. From that fake out, the projection is looking at the lows. So if this one doesn't turn out well, then I'm waiting for the 236 Fibonacci. 382, we are breaking through. I'm still not favoring this being bullish to really come up to hit 90k plus. So there are certain levels where you got a few seconds up to a minute, right? Usually to take decision. I entered a little late here, and went a little bit aggressive. But the projection is coming down to the low. So, the risk to reward is with no doubt very, very interesting, very realistic as well. The fact that we're building up something very bullish from this point to take out the highs, I see it as lower probability based on the information that has been provided here throughout the last 24 hours. Just don't like this to be bullish. Yeah, of course it can not reject here successfully, and we are testing the neckline, right? What can we say? You got the momentum is bullish today. Momentum is bullish. You've broken out from the neckline of the Adam and Eve. You are testing the neckline. If you are feeling bullish, if you are a breakout backtest the level of support trader, this is your zone that you want to speculate on the entry to not only test the highs, maybe get continuation to the upside. But the thing is, I'm not liking it. That's why I'm not going to long this. I would rather get stopped out from the short and say, I just don't like this long. I don't like long in a back test. Okay, ranging here on the Nasdaq. Guys, thank you very much for joining. Sorry about that. We've been focusing on this range, but literally trying to figure out this short position on the levels. And I am favoring more the idea that we claim these lows than we actually claim these highs. It all has to do not only with the movement down, but also, most importantly, the movement to the upside, which looks very corrective. The flat scenario would be my favorite scenario. And yeah, if the price decides to really gain some momentum here, I'll be like, wow, it's not very common that I see something like this happening. So, you need kind of that possibility. 1 2 1 2 1 2. This ends up being a wave 3 and it absolutely shoots here to the upside. Not because I don't like the test of the support, guys. I do me. I share what I think, and obviously, maybe you think, well, I didn't long because you didn't long. You don't need to do what I do, of course. I just don't like these very, very basic, so easy to detect neckline to get that bounce. Market is ferocious. It doesn't want you in any trade, right? It just doesn't want you in any trade. Market is here to take the money off you, not to give you money. So, and this is why this is one of those predictable movements that you're like, I know it's going to, you know, squeeze out those short traders, extend a little bit here. And, you know, probably with the possibility of rolling over later on. So this is the classic level as well to get that bounce on the neckline. And, you know, I would favor a lower high at the 50% 7-8 zone if it does manage to reach here. Yeah, let's go through the comment section right away and see what's going on. I want to see here how many shorts. We've got some bullish CVD divergence on the formation here on some exchanges, not on Bybit. Bybit decided to go max long here on the pump that we got 30 minutes ago. But yeah, there are some shorts entering on Bybit US dollar tether, which is creating some slightly lower lows. Some nasty shorts entering here. Higher lows though on price action, lower lows on CVD. So getting a little bit of a bounce here from that neckline. This can be a cheeky bounce as well, where it actually gets a significant move up to the golden pocket or 7-8. But yeah, I'm not with this amount of volume coming in at this zone. I'm really favoring the ABC flat. I'm really favoring this scenario. This bounce is going to be interesting. You know, hopefully it would create some local bearish CVDs. We're going to have to see if that is going to be the case. Let's go through the comment section, guys. I saw cup and bullish scenario, but my trigger was lower. Cup Asian market opens on Monday. BTC pumps. USA opens. It dumps on Monday. Nice. Crypto Cowboys, how are you doing, my man? Much love to you. Everyone thinks that it's not a bull market. Not everyone. Well, we've been downtrending, but what is interesting about this? Shall we do Bitcoin on the higher time frame, guys? Shall we discuss the higher time frame? Bitcoin has never been in a bear market. Bitcoin's only been in a bull market, all-time high. Every couple of years, right? 2-3 years, all-time high. Bitcoin's in a 15-year bull market, if you wish. Right, there's never been a bear market. If you look at the higher time frame, right, it's only up with some shallow corrections. If you take a look at the monthly chart, so the overall end game for Bitcoin is to take out all-time high in the future. That is for sure. We all know that, I think. I miss your glasses, Andy. Much love, Beatriz Espeño. Which ones? I do have them somewhere. I got my shades here. Come on, Andy, send me a happy birthday. Hey, happy birthday to you, my man. I'm not going to sing. Don't make me sing here on a stream. Is it your birthday? Happy birthday, Crypto Cowboys. Much love to you. Much love to you. Yeah, tell them, Andy. Yeah, Bitcoin is in a everlasting bull market. Bitcoin will hit all-time high in the future. Let's leave it that way. Again. Daily chart, please. Dean Kisten, much love to you. We want to get that short squeezing here to the downside. I mean, it would be... I went in pretty aggressive on this one, guys. I did go in with more than 2.5% of my account. Just not buying this being bullish. Obviously, you know, maintaining stop where it needs to be. It is not common to hit the 1.618 extension, which we almost did hit here. Do you believe that this is going to bounce successfully, guys, from that neckline? Let me know right away. Man, it is bouncing from that neckline. It is bouncing. Anybody in longs from the neckline? Let me know in the comment section. Nasdaq, get that dump already. sometimes there's a negative correlation. So the NASDAQ might dump and Bitcoin pumps like crazy, right? For the moment, I haven't seen any strong signs of Bitcoin decoupling with the stock market like gold and silver, but it might be the next one, right? Gold and silver is eventually decoupled from stock market, even though stock market is, is being bullish. Stock market just recently did hit all-time high at S&P 500, not the NASDAQ. S&P 500 did hit all-time high. I'm going to go through the 1 minute time frame here, see what's going on. Yeah. Double bottom back test, guys. This does happen once in a while. If you take a look at the measured move from this traditional double bottom, it's taking the width basically of the double bottom, which is this one, right? Adam and Eve. That would be classic, guys. This would be like, wow. I don't see this very, very often playing out successfully. But this is the measured move, getting all the way up to 89.6k. When you take a look at traditional pattern analysis, double bottom, breakout, retest the neckline, and hit the target, which is the width of the double bottom, right? So that would be interesting to see on stream. Sometimes you just need to take the shot on these patterns, but I'm not taking it. I'm just not liking it. I'm not buying it. For me, it's too good to be true. Too good to be true. And Bitcoin likes to be nasty. So this is kind of a classic back test. Get FOMO longs. I'm in favor of a lower high here, guys. I'm in favor of a lower high. Will I be right or wrong? I'm not here to be right or wrong. I'm just here to give you my opinion, basically. Let's go. Not a type 4 trader. Got in the Adam and Eve long on the back test of the support. Now here, as mentioned, good on you. Make sure to be defensive. It might be the one that actually pops out here. It's a traditional pattern that for the moment is getting respected. Yeah, the neckline is getting respected. Good on you, my man. Good on you. It's going to happen. Beatriz Espeño, it could happen for sure. Crypto by Mattia, much love to you, my man. What's going on? Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Get your ass out from wherever you are and let's get some tennis going, my man. Much love to you. Go and check out Crypto by Mattia, guys. He's an absolute legend. Great content, great education, great technical analysis, great everything. He has it all. Much love, Mattia. Here in the comment section, Crypto by Mattia. It's the 4 hour for me. 4 hour time frame. Staffer one with the links with the insane bonuses that you do have on exchanges, guys. Check them out. Staffer one here with the BTCC link that you get over $10,000 in deposit bonuses here with BTCC, guys. Let's go. Had to take the chance. I saw that bear struggle around this neckline. Had to take the chance. Not sure. What do you mean about the long meme cat? It's proving itself. This pattern wants to develop, guys. The Adam and Eve double bottom retest of the neckline. It is wanting to come to fruition. Will it play out or not? Holy smokes. I'm favoring a lower high at the golden pocket 7-8 zone because I know the price likes to be cheeky. Would be nice to see some bearish CVDs here, actually. We've got some longs entering on Bybit, which is nice to see. Some longs entering here. Not much. Would be nice to see some bearish CVDs, which we do not have many. Just on Bybit ever so slightly. There's been more shorts entering. We've actually got bullish CVDs at the neckline. Ooh! If it, you know, sometimes these patterns need to work, because if not, you need to see, it can't be all about fake outs. I'm not favoring it, guys. I'm a little bit of a bear today, even though we are pumping, right? But I can't be bearish when we move down. You know, I want to look for longs, but it wants to form, it wants to pump. It bounced from the neckline successfully, at least for the moment, on the Adam and Eve double bottom neckline. Holy smokes, it wants to. It really wants. It's gonna do it, guys. It's gonna do it. Long here, no Santa rally. Well, for the moment, we are rallying a little bit. For the moment, we've been pumping throughout today, right? I'm not favoring it here, guys. Not believing it. I missed out on the long, on the back test of the neckline. It's just not my kind of trade. But as explained, you know, technically, that is the zone where it needs to bounce, which it did. So anybody that was feeling good enough to take that long position to attempt this scenario on hitting the target of the double bottom Adam and Eve is in the game at the moment. Is in the game. Let's see if we do. Golden pocket not reached yet. Oh yeah. The dog's going absolutely nuts here. Right, let's go through comment section, see what the people are saying. Dog says go long. Dog is bullish. Dog is saying, Andy, why are you so bearish? In this range, we're pumping, we're breaking a neckline. Why so bearish? Nasdaq not doing it really anything here in this zone. So that's that. I have Solana and XRP, guys. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comment section. Yuxuan, what's going on, my man? You're getting deleted here. Lessons learned, always never trust a YouTuber. Come on, man. The dog says 91k. We'll see, right? We'll see. If it does end up rolling over, I want your apologies tomorrow. It is the level of you know, it is a neckline. It is a neckline, you know. I just don't, just because I don't like it doesn't mean that you cannot take it. You know, you just need to manage risk accordingly. You know, when you get this revisit of a neckline, you know, sensibly speaking about risk management, stop loss beneath the last higher low. It's not about trusting anyone. You need to trust yourself. I'm just a messenger here to give you my opinion, levels. So yeah, what can we say? Don't worry, man. Don't get mad. The dog says 91k. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. Seriously wants to push through. Would have been better for that neckline to be lost, but yeah, I'm going to say that I'm still favoring a lower high here, guys. Still favoring a lower high. I like the high volume that we've created here. I like the big pullback. The high volume here is you know, with this pullback down is most common with this structure for a wave C instead of a 1, 2, 3. I mean, you know, with this pullback down, you know, it's not looking great. You're already overlapping this pivot. Yeah, it's all about probabilities and all understanding, because just not, you know, not favoring a scenario doesn't mean that I need to be completely right. I wish I would be completely right, you know, 100% of the times, but that's not the case. Let's go through the comment section, see what the people are saying. Staffer one, much love. Got your point, but chill. Yeah, man, chill out. Chill out. You need to do, you need to trade whatever you want, right? Poppy was singing happy birthday to me, says Crypto Cowboys. I got in the long just under the neckline. I have to say acceptable. Acceptable. When I think about a long on the test of a neckline, based on risk management, I always think about, you know, the stop loss beneath the last higher low of the momentum. Last higher low of the momentum. Obviously, the target zone in classic technical analysis terms would be, you know, patterns, I mean, would be the width of the double bottom, right? It would be the width here, which is around about 89.5k. I mean, if you're looking at classic pattern and projection, this is what it would be looking like, right? Stop loss beneath the last higher low, which is, you know, under the neckline, and the projection is all the way up here. At this point, I would be defensive. You know, if you're in a profit, you know, I wouldn't turn this into a losing trade of more than 1% of your capital. You know, this is, if you got into this neckline, it's time to be defensive, because if you do roll over from here, the chances of breaking out, you know, breaking down the uptrend of today is without doubt there, right? So you don't want to turn this neckline bounce into a losing trade at this point. Anyway, let's go through comment section, see what the people are saying. Actually, E-wave of the triangle takes us to 95k. E-wave of the triangle takes us to 95k. Second attempt always fails. Yeah, this is why about the back test of this short of today as well. You know, it did back test the level and it did get a dump. So when we go on the lower time frames, we did get the SFP, and this is why I cancelled the short here, because if you SFP from a level and you literally come to back test it, you want the price to really go from there, right? You really want to start breaking the local uptrend structure. And the more back tests you get from a level, the weaker it gets. So as you're uptrending today, if you don't get that SFP, you know, you're looking at the price to either roll over, and if you're going to back test it twice with higher lows, it's just likely going to break out. So let's see here, moment of truth. Moment of truth here. But it is bouncing strong. It is bouncing strong. Okay, we've got a bit of a little range here that could act as resistance. Let's take a look at CVD. Not many longs entering. Not many longs entering here. Not many shorts either, so not much going on here. Nasdaq at the lows of the range again. So we swept the local highs of this mini range, then back to the lows. Let's see, interesting here on Bitcoin. Muy interesante. Let's see. Let's go through comment section. Down we go, sir. You know, let's see. For the moment, we've got our first struggle. We've got our first internal struggle here, but it wants to follow the momentum today. It really wants to. It really wants to attempt to follow the momentum. The good thing about this is, you know, if this does end up failing, guys, I'm still sticking to this. It's all about managing risk and knowing your entries here. Okay, I can tell you, if it is going to end up not going to higher levels in the next coming hours between today and tomorrow, we are looking at these lows to be claimed. So, you know, I can afford to attempt a short a couple of times, because the one that strikes is going to strike big, right? The one that strikes is going to strike big. And if it doesn't, tomorrow's another day, and we'll look for a longer projection tomorrow, right? Or after tomorrow. Don't get pissed off about one trade, guys. This is a long-term game. So I agree to that, Andy. Much love, Eduardo. Much love. Shorts act as buys and longs are staggered sales. People already have long it at the 86.7 to 87k. That's why there is no new long positions. Yeah, this is the thing. Not that it's a major interest zone. I agree 100% with Andy. I am still short. Big dump incoming, says Axel. We're gonna have to see, man. We're gonna have to see. I think I would attempt another possible local double top, but I'm not gonna fight the momentum. Okay, too much. I won't fight it too much, guys. I won't fight it too much. If it wants to go, it wants to go, right? What can we say? And you know, this is not a scalp setup. It is more of a day trade to small swing trade. It could last a couple of days, but it's not a zone that you want to go too crazy. If it doesn't want to reject strongly, you just need to let it go, right? You just need to let it go. Momentum of today is still building up. It wants to take out the highs, guys. It wants to. No rejection, no major selling pressure for the lower high. Really stretching it here at the 7.8. Really stretching it. Nasdaq holding the lows, swept the highs, again at the lows, finding support of this little range. Bitcoin wants to move up. It wants to move up, take out the highs, and hit the target, guys, of the double bottom. What a classic pattern that has formed here. I'm still going to give this a chance. I'm probably going to get stopped out on the rest of this trade. A classic pattern, guys, here on the formation, which I was not in favor of, but we got the breakout and the back test, and it wants to anyway. It looks like it wants to. I would possibly attempt another local double top, and if it breaks the highs, then I'm not going to attempt the short. Let's go. Is it going to take out the highs? I mean, this is where it's more interesting. I should have been doing higher time frame stuff as well, guys, but we're just really focusing here on the possible rejection or hitting the target of the cup and handle, which it really looks like it wants to attempt that move all the way up to 7.8 Fibonacci. That's going to be literally the target. 7.8 Fibonacci is the target of that double bottom cup and handle, double bottom Adam and Eve. Sorry, it does look like a cup and handle. And to give the family a tuition on bluffing grid bots. Absolutely, grid bots are very good in a massive range. The bulls are winning. Meme cat. Stop looking for shorts. We're going to 160k. Yes, I do know that. We are going to hit eventually 160k on Bitcoin at some point. Breakout was successful, guys, by the looks of things. The back test was successful here of the neckline. You don't see that every day being successful. Short it, boys. Lord Black video also being bearish. I bought from 86.9k, says Nathan. Much love to you. 86.9k. 86.9, so basically getting into this double bottom zone. The range that we formed on Bitcoin, Nasdaq getting the pump right now, so tested the lows again, fake out up, fake out down, back up, but Bitcoin last few days, I have to say, not last few days, last few weeks, has been a complex little range here, without a doubt. We're leaving back that liquidity at the moment. We're leaving back that liquidity here to the downside that we have. 86.5, literally the lows. We've had some significant liquidity here that we are leaving behind at the moment. Doesn't mean that we're going to leave it behind forever. Still that liquidity at 90k plus, 90.5k. Still not liking this structure. Nasdaq with the pump very locally. Ooh, Mariela, much love. Member for 40 months. Mariela, how are you doing? Much love. I'm back, my crypto king. Much love from Chile. Holy smokes. Much love to you, Mariela. BTC and silver both competing, actually. Yeah, this is the thing right now. You know, is Bitcoin lagging behind silver and gold? And we're actually going to see some massive rallies on Bitcoin in the next coming months, guys, entering into 2026, because it's lagging behind, right? Bitcoin is the safe haven, the digital gold, and gold has gone through the roof. Also silver following weeks after. Is it time for Bitcoin to bottom out on the higher time frame and absolutely explode? Yeah, Bitcoin wanting to take those highs at the moment. So there it is, taking out the highs, guys. I'm out of the position. Still not liking this. Still not liking it. Me personally anyway, but it looks like it wants to reach that target of this double bottom Adam and Eve. Good test on the neckline, guys. Whoever longed the neckline, congratulations. Very good. Very good. Obviously, testing these highs is a TP zone. Testing the highs is a TP zone, I have to say. Testing the highs is a TP zone. TP1, basically, if you long the neckline. And TP2 would be coming all the way up to hit literally the 7/8 Fibonacci, right? Which is the measured move of the double bottom. Let's take a look here at CVD. Longs entering right now. Longs, there are actually some longs entering here. Stock market. Stock market bouncing. Bitcoin just recently testing these local highs. Let's see if it does manage to either push through or form a local double top here. BTC es mejor que la plata. That is, BTC is much better than silver. Send BTC to 100k. Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of higher time frame analysis without a doubt. Let's do that. Yes, it is. Eduardo, much love to you. Bitcoin getting the pump today. Not in the short, got out, but I'm considering a local double top here. Not in the short, got stopped out on that short. It was, I mean, the golden pocket was a good rejection point, right? It was a quick decision, just testing the highs right now. So we're just above the highs, so not considering here, unless we kind of get a little rejection. It wants to either pop or either reject. There's no major selling pressure coming in. We did get a lot at the golden pocket. Double bottom here. Much love, Mariela. Nice to see you around. Okay, this up move is sick. It was a quick spike up, down, test the highs. Bitcoin likes to shake out everybody of the market, right? But in classical pattern terms, man, this I don't see this very often, where you just get a classic Adam and Eve double bottom, regardless of the probabilities of Elliott wave theory, and comes down to test the neckline and gets an epic bounce, at least to test the recent highs here. But this is very classic shaky scenario as well. But yeah, very just a classic revisit of the neckline. No, these are never patterns that I'm a fan about, guys. But when you think about the sensible thing, if you want to trade this, you know, I only come up with the idea to put stop loss beneath the last higher low, right? And not only targeting the recent highs, giving also the potential of reaching the actual classic target, which is the width of the double bottom. Not a fan of these patterns, but obviously if you revisit the highs, it has to be a TP. It has to be a TP here if you do get into that long position. Just sitting at the golden pocket right now, holding those recent highs, no major rejection. It's just staying above those highs, so it looks like it does want to pop out here, guys. It does look like it wants to pop. For the moment, it is maintaining above those recent highs. Let's see. Maria, much love. So happy to see you around. Thanks, Staffa1. My time zone is now compatible with live streams in Chile. In Chile's time now should be, what time is it here there now? Probably about 12 midday, 11 a.m. Staffa1, much love, brother. Thanks for joining. Oh yeah, the FOMC is today, guys. We got the FOMC meeting. Holy smokes. We got FOMC minutes, sorry, not meeting. FOMC minutes is today in about 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours from now, guys. FOMC minutes is coming out today. Let's see what comes out of this, guys. There might be some local volatility tonight as well. Much love. Team RP, much love. It was a scalp on New York Open like every day. Some days it works, some doesn't. Yeah, exactly. I'm not trading till FOMC today unless some good setups pop up. Good for you, money is money. Team RP, much love. Legend Andy, thanks for being here. You're very welcome, very welcome. Very welcome. Much love. Yeah. Looks like it wants to double top locally, but yeah, not the possible double top here locally. If you did long, it's not a bad idea to take profit. If you longed here, not a bad attempt if you snipe it here, the rejection of the local highs. Always move, you know, if you move down and then get the bounce, you can always be defensive. But I'm not going to give this many attempts. If it doesn't want to reject, it doesn't reject, guys. What can we say? There's only so many times you can attempt a setup, right? You can't attempt it 5 times. It's like, come on, man. But if it does want to reject, eventually, you know, the projection is really coming down to the lows, guys. You know, but if it doesn't want to, it doesn't want to, right? We could not beat up ourselves on the scenario. Let's go, let's go. Mariela, so nice to see you. Yeah, 1 p.m. here. Much love to you in Chile. I need to go to Chile. Never been to Chile. Aquí otra chilena también in the house. Paz María Vallejos. Mariela has been not only a moderator, been a follower, moderator for a long, long time here. And yeah, she's from Chile. Mariela, Paz María Vallejos, lives in Barcelona. She's from Chile as well. And she's been following the channel for quite a bit now. So you guys meet up and do something. Just reject BTC. Yeah, very quick internal rejection of the local highs. You know, what can I say? And I'm still favoring the possibility of rolling down from here, guys. Still favoring the possibility of rolling down. I mean, you can have several short attempts, entries, be defensive. If you end up double topping here, you know, trigger the short. This short position, you know, as explained, it does have the potential of coming down to the lows. So, you know, you don't need to go extremely crazy. If this one fails, then, you know, manage risk. If you locally double top right there, the market wants to get all of the shorters out of the market before it actually dumps, right? The market's going to, you want to short, screw you. Then I'm going to go down, right? Screw all of the people that are attempting to short here at certain levels. It's going to boom, 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 boom. And, you know, when it wants to go, it's just going to absolutely nuke, right? If it wants to do so. So, you know, local double top, yeah, acceptable. Be defensive. If we're going to rally again to the highs, you know, just get out at break even. Not worth here getting into massive shorts here. So, yeah, that's going to be a stop at break even. If it doesn't want to go, it doesn't want to go, guys. What can we say? But as mentioned, the moment it does go, then that's the one that's going to pay off, right? Let's go and see here what Mariela is saying. Equipo Chileno Fan Club de Andy Presente. Much love, Mariela, much love. Paz María Vallejos aquí también, desde Barcelona. 200x short. Oh, no. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're shorting with a few dollars. Attempted this at the moment. Did attempt it. It's a little short. Just about to get stopped out at break even here. Yeah, just got stopped out break even. It doesn't want to go. If it doesn't want to go, what can we do? We ain't gonna force it. So yeah, it did attempt a local double top, but it did not. I want to see the big rejection. I want to see the price like really going. If it's going to start, you know, fucking around here with a little pullback and then come back up, you know, screw that. I'm not going to fight it. Not going to fight it, legends. Not going to fight it. I'm looking for that liquidity grab as well. You know, with if you get people shorting here on the golden pocket, yes, you know, the market does like to come up and, you know, hit you there, hit you back up here to this zone, right? Get you out. The market wants to get everybody out before it actually takes the big move, if it is going to do it, right? That golden pocket is the one that is providing the resistance at the moment. Local double top. The Adam and Eve is the classic pattern that's played out today. Adam and Eve is the one that played out. Back testing here, the neckline, and the shorts for the moment. The ABC flat is not looking too great. Of course, it could extend. It's extending. It's trying, and then, you know, it ends up rolling over later on. I would say if we do break these recent highs and we don't double top locally here, the next possible attempt for me at least would be the 7-8. 7-8, which is the target of the double bottom. Depending on the rejection, depending on the wick, if this one doesn't play out, remember this is a big projection, right? The risk management is tiny. It's very, very small. It's very, very small. The risk management is small, guys. You know, the stop losses are insignificant if you're attempting local double top, or your next level for me would be the 7-8, which would be a little bit stretched eventually. I'm not expecting that to be the successful level to reject. Preferably we don't reach that high, because if this is going to be an ABC flat, you know, you're really getting to the 1.618, beyond the 1.618 extension, and that is not preferred here, as this is, you know, unlikely to be that expanding flat. An expanding flat usually takes out the lows of the B wave, of the A wave start, sorry, and in this case we did not. Still possible, of course, to hit the 1.61 extension, but it's not that common. So if we were to stretch out here another few $100s to the upside, you know, maybe hitting the 7-8 Fibonacci, it's just not going to be not going to be the one. It's probably just going to want to break out. So it's not an area that I would be a fan of looking to add to short positions or any of that nonsense, guys. You know, trade the levels of possible rejection. If not, you know, cut the losses very, very small, right? We can afford to cut losses a lot, right? You know, I can cut losses 2, 3, 4 times, and when the big trade happens eventually, you know, those loss cuts are just going to be insignificant, guys. You know, if this is a short squeeze, 91k would be the target zone. I mean, I think we need to do a little bit of higher time frame scenarios, because what is the problem here right now with Bitcoin on the higher time frame is we have such a messy range, guys, that it's probably going to be, you know, this could be whatever. When we analyzing the situation here, there's so many combinations and so much noise. It's absolutely insane how many combinations here you have when you look at elite wave theory. You know, you have the triangle scenario here, where you have your W wave here, A, B, C, D, E. The E wave could have been a WXY, and you're going absolutely nuts. A lot of people, such as myself, wanting to sweep up these lows. Hey, we ain't gone nowhere just yet, right? We're still very much in this choppy range of a few $1,000s for the last 2 weeks at the moment, right? We're not even getting out between 90K and 86K. So this doesn't mean that we're gonna, you know, move up from here, or moving down from here doesn't mean we're gonna break down. We're still very much inside of this range for the last 2 weeks. So yeah, what can we say? We get excited on every pump and we get excited on every dump, right? This is like it's pretty fun to be doing live streams in the last couple of weeks here, because every pump has been like, yeah, we're going to move up, we're going to explode. Every dump is going to be bearish, we're going to be hitting 80K. So it's been a little bit of, it's been interesting. It's been interesting, this range, because, you know, every pump is like, yes, we're going to do it. And every dump is like, that's it, guys. Forget about it. We're going to go down. So, and we're pretty much still in no man's land. And this no man's land zone is very, very difficult at the moment, because there's so many different scenarios. We can discuss them on the higher time frame. Yeah, I think we are going to discuss them here on the higher time frame. That golden pocket is holding. The golden pocket is holding like a beast here as resistance. Will it want to roll over from here? Let's take a look at the Nasdaq, see what's going on the NQ. NQ pop, you know, moving up to the top of the range again. Will it squeeze out or will it not squeeze out? What will happen? I kind of see a little bit of Bitcoin having a bit of negative correlation, right? If stock market pumps, Bitcoin dumps. If stock market dumps, Bitcoin pumps. Is it going to be like gold and silver, where it decouples Bitcoin from the stock market? I think we're going to have to do a little bit of higher time frame here, legends. Let me know if everything's good here with the stream. Let's take a look here. Yeah, let's go with the higher time frame. It's about time that we're going to do a little bit of higher time frame here, guys, on Bitcoin. Yeah, let's go higher time frame. Tomas Suko, much love to you, my man. Turd Taco, CBD not looking good. CBD looking bullish. CBD looking bullish, guys. People are shorting right now on Bybit. We've got 5 million shorts entering here on Bybit. No. Never good. Never good to see some shorts entering at the highs. It just gives the potential of fueling the more upside momentum. So we've got some shorts entering here. A few million short positions on Bybit at this exact level. Not what you want to see here. It is creating some local bullish CVDs. Higher lows on price action, lower lows on CVDs. Shorters trying to tempt the market. Stop shorting, guys. Anyway, let's do a little bit of higher time frame right now. It's all good, guys, to attempt here. I prefer managing risk on these attempts than actually having a stop loss all the way up here and getting into a short, adding to the short and stuff like that, guys. I've gone through that phase and it does not work. What works is getting into little stop losses, and then the big trade that happens, then it happens. Okay, so yeah, anyway, let's go through. Let's do the higher time frame, right? Let's clear this up and let's talk about the higher time frame, which is getting extremely confusing on the direction here. Let's just clear this up here at the moment. Let's get this off the chart and let's go through the higher time frame, because it is without a doubt Let's do a higher time frame. Just checking a few things here. Right, so higher time frame. What is interesting about the higher time frame here is, by the way, guys, I want to let you know that we are, been building a product throughout the last few months that is going to be launched into 2026, and whoever signs up with the links down below in the description, you can choose whichever one you want, either Bluffin, either the decentralized platform, which is Velto. I will be leaving my Telegram DM down below in the next coming days on the streams, launching the product. You will be getting a bonus, guys, if you sign up with the link down below. This is going to be in the next few days. Likely, I was going to thinking about the 31st, but I think I'm going to wait till the 2nd or 3rd of January, where we launch this throughout 2026 into the new year. And whoever signs up with any of the links down below, which you do get these great bonuses, guys. Bluffin does offer $1,000 if you deposit $7,000, so that increases your trading capital. Take advantage down below, guys. You can use Velto, Bluffin, BTCC, and you'll be getting a bonus eventually in the next coming days, which I will be letting you know, of course. But anyway, let's do the higher time frame. Much love, Mariela. Much love, everybody. Big liquidity at 89.3k. Yes, we can see this. Mariela, I'm super happy to see you here. Super glad. Big liquidity above 90k, also below 86. I'm kind of in the middle at the moment. Bitcoin pumping. It is ending up pumping. I'm actually surprised here that if it does get continuation to sweep up the highs. But the thing is, when we are looking at the higher time frame, when we are in a very big range, the problem is in this range that you might, and this is what happens at some point, you are gonna attempt to either break up or break down. And the problem with these long ranges, we cannot trust very much the lower time frame. It is seriously a problem. And this is, if we do take out 90.3k, which is the highs of Monday, it's one of those movements that caught me on the my favorite scenario, right? Because my favorite scenario is still looking for a lower high, possibly here from the highs of Monday, based on the local structure. However, I have to recognize that when you are extending such a range and very, very complex corrective 3-wave up, down, sweep up highs and lows, there is going to be a moment where the price is going to pop out, right? And either hit the highs of the range or hit the lows here, and maybe even go higher or lower. When I do see basically on Elliott wave theory this range, because the bears are going to say this is a bear flag, right? And we broke the bear flag, and we are going to be testing the lows here in the next coming days or weeks, right? There's no doubt about it that the bears are just going to be bearish, right, on the higher time frame. We're in a bear market. 80k minus to 70k is next for Bitcoin. We broke this bear flag. We revisited the neckline. It's time to believe that we're going to roll over. Bears are going to be bears here in this scenario. The bulls are going to see this as maybe a contracting leading diagonal, which, it's not something that I see that's very, very beautiful, but still, could it be? Absolutely. Ascending, contracting, leading diagonal, which is a 5-wave structure. It doesn't look beautiful because the 3rd wave is very 5-wavy and the 5th wave is very 3-wavy. And then this is your correction down to the golden pocket, right? That's your wave 1 or your wave A. This is your correction, and now you're building up here some momentum, bullish momentum to the upside that's going to end up breaking out. you know, when I like take a look at all of this, you know, for me, there's nothing very solid as a bullish structure getting developed here when I try and look for impulsive moves. So I don't see any major solid impulsive moves here to the upside, and I'm just not in favor of the ultra bullish scenario, which is a wave 1, wave 2, and obviously you're building up 1-2s here, which is very, very hard to identify. This is very, very choppy, 3-wavy. It's just a big fat mess here, I have to say. I'm not in favor of this scenario. Then we have the triangle, which is, yeah, this scenario, which, you know, is your E wave in here, or has your E wave been a WXY, which is possible as long as it is a 3-wave corrective structure. It can be a WXY, right? Or, you know, it's just a very, very choppy range. So regardless of what happens here in the last few days, even though if I favor a scenario which is looking for a lower high, just because of the local price action, I need to understand what's going on the higher time frame, which looks incredibly messy. You know, there's no major trend direction when we look at the 4-hourly or the daily. Obviously the daily, yes, it's down trending, but when you get such a big, messy, choppy range, it's going to end up finishing at some point, right? It's going to end up finishing regardless if it's this is the E wave of the triangle right there, where, you know, you formed a wave, B wave, C, D, right? This is still a lower high, so that would be your D wave. And your E wave needs to be a 3-wave structure, preferably a zigzag, which is the most common scenario. And then it takes the movement up. Grab that liquidity would have been ideal. I think it was a bit of a too easy setup as well. And it ended up, you know, for the moment, it hasn't ended up taking out 86k. Of course, that could happen in the next couple of days. I'm not saying that this is going to absolutely move from here, but the problem is with the E wave. E waves can be a triangle also, which is not the case, but just so you know, it is possible for an E wave to be a triangle inside of a triangle as well, which is like really, really nuts. It could be a sideways complex WXY, which could have been the case. Maybe this has been the low of the E wave. And if that is the scenario where you have this being a complex sideways WXY, it has the potential of, you know, targeting 90k, 90,500. Because if this is the end of the triangle, this has ended up being a very, very complex WXY in the E wave, instead of a regular zigzag, has been a sideways WXY, right? Which you kind of, you know, not expect. The most common thing is to form a zigzag, but sometimes we don't get the most common thing in a complex range. And if that is the case, that this has been the end of the E wave the X wave in this E wave, which is finished very, very complex. On the Y wave, what you would be looking at is either a zigzag move up, okay, which is taking out obviously the highs of the range of the last few weeks, which is above 95k, or potentially forming a flat, which your Y wave could either be a zigzag, that would be a double zigzag, zigzag W, triangle, and X, and then a zigzag and Y. So you've got a corrective double zigzag to the upside here. Another scenario would be a flat in your Y wave, which you take out 90, 91, 92k. It looks like a breakout. It looks like this is it. I'm still interested in shorts here, by the way. That would be my new zone if it were to be reached. Just because it's just an awesome level of liquidity, and I understand that this could be a pattern that could form here, where regardless if the E wave is in or not, or if it doesn't end up being the low, it's just an interesting level where you get a sweep of the highs, a sweep of the lows, and then back up here, and literally your A wave is a flat. And this is very, very complex sideways WXY scenarios that just happens. You like sweep highs, sweep lows. We see it all the time. You know, market is ferocious. It wants to trap you here on the breakout. It wants to trap you here on the breakdown, then move back up. And then obviously this ends up rolling down later on. But it's really, really still continuing the range here. And there's no real proper direction. And this is why I want to be a little bit cautious on focusing on the 15-minute, 5-minute at the moment, because there's no proper trend direction, right? There's just no, yeah, this is the moment we're going to roll down, go down to 70k, 60k, like a lot of people are saying as well, right? The bears are going to stay bearish, and the bulls are just going to say, you know, it's the bottom is in or maybe close to being in, and we're looking for a massive recovery from here. And the reality is that, you know, we're in a very, very complex range that is just really trapping the movements constantly, right? Sweeping up the highs, sweeping up the lows. There's no breakout. It's been extremely boring for many weeks now. And there's just no real, you know, trend, unfortunately. And it's just very, very, very trappy on the directional bias, basically, to either, you know, move up and continue the bull run, or move down and continue the bear market, as the bears would say, right? It's just really a very, very complex zone where there's many scenarios still developing. You know, the thing about when we take a look at Elliott wave theory in this range, unfortunately, the longer you extend and the more waves you have internally, the more complex it could get, right? Instead of really getting into the solution of what's going to happen, it gives you multiple scenarios, right? The triangle, this triangle, it could even extend here, right? You know, if it fakes out from the recent highs. So even though timing would be an issue here at this point, but yeah, maybe this is the D wave, right? You reject from that point, and then you do claim the higher lows, and then you move up, right? So it's really like extending the problems here. So we still need to consider the range. We still need to consider the range, and trade the range. Obviously, this is a beautiful zone, I have to say. If we were to reach all the way up here above 91k, I have to say the golden pocket has not been hit. 91k looks so awesome as a sweep of a range high. You know, this, regardless if this turns out to be a massive move down or a little move down, you know, the rejection from 91k basically, which is the golden pocket of the range highs, to the recent lows of, you know, 2 weeks ago, the liquidity grab that we have here from those lower highs, not reaching those highs, it's just such an awesome level. And we also have, I think we had the range point of control is slightly higher, actually, 91.5. Well, now with the new information, it's lower. Of course, we've been consolidating here for over a week now, without counting that range. The point of control is just slightly above that point. That you know, the highest volume node basically from part of November and December is coming up just slightly above the golden pocket. And, you know, when we zoom out on the liquidity heat map, it is true that there is a lot of that liquidity there, you know, at the, you know, above 91k, right? There's hundreds of millions of dollars of short liquidations. It's just an interesting liquidity grab, right, to get that fake out. So I'm really considering this level as a rejection point. You know, the problem of people shorting in this zone or longing in this zone, you need to take them as day trade setups, right? Maybe it will last for a couple of days. This is why this might, if we were to reach 91k, say in the next coming days, just out of speculation, will this level reject to break down, or will it just reject $1,000 or $2,000 and form a higher low and then move to the upside? When I consider the triangle scenario, which is a WX triangle double zigzag is possible. So you might stretch your legs to this 91k zone, get the correction, and then form a higher low. But you just need to take profits on the way down at local levels of support. But without a doubt, it is a short trigger zone, 91 to the 92k area, which is the golden pocket, point of control. You're sweeping up liquidity. It's just a zone that I would be looking for a swing short, because this is the 4-hourly time frame. It might take a few days to actually roll over a couple of $1,000s from here. So it's just an interesting area on a higher time frame. And I think we're not going anywhere just as of yet, guys. We're still pretty much range bound, you know, and still favoring a lower high here, by the way. And yeah, what can we say? What can we say? What can we say? This zone is the most interesting outside of the local range. Outside of the local range that we formed in the last 2 weeks, basically, since the 12th of December, over 2 weeks now. The most interesting point is, do we break out successfully from 91k, right? Well, basically the high is at 90.5k. Does this move break out successfully whenever it hits, right? Whenever it hits, and actually goes to 95k plus, which is the next recent highs of the range, or does it reject? I like the liquidity grabs. I like the fake outs. I'm not in favor of this movement being bullish and continuing to the upside. And the problem is here, it could overall be bullish because you've finished already a complex correction structure here in this, not this one, in this E wave right there, your wave X. And what you form here is a new structure, right? Which would maybe be a zigzag. You got a zigzag up in W, complex running triangle here that's getting on my nerves already. This E wave has been a complex WXY, not a simple zigzag, right? Which is ideal usually, but it just didn't want to do it. Could this be the low? And instead of believing that, oh, well, there's nothing bullish about this movement up, well, yeah, because this movement that you see in here is part of a very, very complex, larger sideways correction where you have, you know, wave W, a triangle, and wave X. So it's like really getting you mad here. It's like nobody has a clue of what's going to be the direction here. Of course, I can understand the probabilities that moving down, you know, if we are looking at the scenarios here on the probabilities of this being, you know, a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, preferably finishing here. Then there's the bearish case scenario, of course, right? The bearish case scenario is looking at an impulse to the downside where this is your wave 1, your wave 2, your wave 3, your wave 4, and your wave 5 needs to develop. This is taking a little bit of a long time to really show some bearish strength here. This is like losing in probabilities, just because this was the classic one, right? This is a bear flag. We're going to go to, you know, minus 80k, 70k. The problem is here, your last high to consider that wave 4 needs to be this one. And that's all good. That's all nice, right? That's where we would have this scenario right over here, where you have a double zigzag WXY finishing the highs here on your 4th wave. Let me get this straight here 1 second. And put this like that and put this like this. A bit messy at the moment, but literally what you're looking for is this to be the top of the 4th wave, and you're developing the 5th wave. This is really taking quite a bit of time at the moment. It is getting a little bit long. So this would be the double zigzag, wave 4. And now we want to see the wave 5. If we are seeing the wave 5, this has to be your first leg down as a leading move, as a motive wave. There's no other way I can fit an impulse here. It has to be a diagonal, right? There's no classic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big high 3 wave. Where's that? It's not anywhere here. So this has to be the move, leading contracting diagonal, which doesn't have the highest probability when we look at motive waves. Extremely complex correction. And at this point, this would have to be the wave 2. This would have to be your next wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3 to get developed here in the next coming days. I mean, this is your lower time frame wave 1 of your wave 3. And right now you have another 1, 2. So what you would be looking at here is 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 here. 4, 5 to complete that third wave. It's just taking a long time. It's just taking too long. But as long as you are maintaining a lower high here, you need to leave the possibility of this. The structure is still there when you consider this wave 1, wave 2. Sorry guys, but this is just a complex mess. It has a flat NW, an X wave, and a zigzag. It's the last lower high from this movement down. So this has to be your wave 2. And then considering this your impulse, this being your 3-wave structure, another wave 1, another wave 2, and now you've got another wave 1 and another wave 2, and you know, you just lose. It's just taking too long. It's just taking too long. You know, this is an absolute mess. Preferably we would have started rolling down aggressively already last week. You know, wave 1, wave 2, and start getting some bearish momentum here. The moment you start dancing around and continuing the range, it just decreases the probabilities for this to be the scenario that's going to play out. You know, stop faffing around and get the dump already. The longer you extend here, the timing is, we're losing time here. And that's when you come up with the idea of, you know, it might be a WXY on the higher time frame. Preferably we would have formed a zigzag here. This was the general plan. But, you know, didn't manage to sweep up the lows. It might sweep up the lows tomorrow, right? Still favoring a possible lower high here. So, yeah. It is a very, very complex range, I have to say. Very, very complex range. Very 3-wavy structures. You know, triangle could definitely extend as well. You might form one more lower high and one more higher low. You know, it's just like too many scenarios on the higher time frame. This is why, you know, it is interesting to look for intraday setups, intraday scalp scenarios. Finally, the price wanting to reject here. Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Getting the rejection right now with the stock market. Damn. Legends, let's go through the comment section. Let's put the music here back again. And let's go right away. And say hello to the beautiful community. Am I still not lagging, am I? And let's go right away. Up to 96k, says Steven. I would be making my first million. Please reply me with buy or sell for 1.5% profit. Top moments, TSK. Let me know exactly what's that? What trade you're looking at? Why don't you look at open interest when checking CVD and AGGR? Yeah, open interest, we do have it as well. We do have it also. Open interest is up here at the moment with the shorts entering the market. big shorters are coming here on the Bybit side, but big shorts at the moment. Big shorters coming in the market here on Bybit. Over 20 million shorts. I would consider these ones more powerful at the moment. Yeah, this is big volume at the moment. 15 and 7, so over 22 million shorts entering in the last hour here at this zone. Obviously, you might see this as bullish CVD divergence, but when we start talking about 20-30 million, it starts being some big pressure. Okay, so you might think we're forming bullish. I do take it into consideration. Open interest, of course. You know, now we got big open interest on shorts, so and big volume. So that's something that you don't want to go against to, right? You want to follow the big money, and there's big positions entering right now. Unless there's going to be bigger positions reversing the chart, then I wouldn't go against these bad boys. I always I do consider open interest as well, my man. Massive bullish CVDs. Yeah, this is the thing right now. Big bullish CVD divergence. However, we got some pretty big players entering here at the moment with open interest coming in. So yeah, we do have big bullish CVDs, but having bullish CVDs here at the very top of a major rally that we've had throughout today, when these shorts are people that are aggressive, that might even piling more shorts as we go down. You know, you want to be very cautious with CVD, as someone was pointing out here, taking into consideration open interest, right, and big players. Because whales shorting, says Nitro. Yeah, for sure. There's been over 20 million. Andy, you missed a nice short. The thing is, where we actually rejected here, it's still, it's still not bad attempting. We didn't hit the rejected from golden pocket, so not hitting quite the 7-8. Did we reach the cup and the double bottom target? I would say possibly not quite reaching it. It's not a bad idea to attempt some shorts here, legends. Just manage risk, be defensive. If you entered and the price moves in your favor, protect position. But this if you are shorting here in this area, don't go too crazy, just in case the price decides to move up from here. You don't want to afford to lose too much here. Add to shorts and not all of that nonsense. It's much better to get stopped out once or twice. I wouldn't say attempt it 5 times, right? Because the projection is literally coming down to sweep up these lows. So it's okay to get stopped out, once close to break even. When you're attempting this kind of trade to the downside, you can get stopped out 1, 2, even 3 times. It doesn't really matter, right? Depending on where you're shorting. If you're looking for double tops or entering a little late, you don't want to go too crazy. You haven't got much bullets here. If you are going to attempt shorting here like 5 times, then it's not worth it. But you can attempt 1, 2. Maybe you're just happy to have a stop loss at the highs, and you're looking for a 2-to-1 risk to reward, or maybe you want to look for that juicier, 6-to-1 risk to reward, 7-to-1 risk to reward. But this is still looking at the possibility of claiming this low, right? So Waiting to test the 88k and go long. 88k and go long again. Waiting to test 88k. Oh man, this was the perfect back test of the breakout of the double bottom, I have to say. Someone in the comment section saying that you would attempt the long again on the neckline. Yeah, just manage risk. What can I say? I was not in favor of longing this, so I'm not in favor of longing again the test of the neckline. But if you want to do so, you know, manage risk accordingly. What can we say? I would not get into a double test here for sure. I mean, at least me, but I wasn't fond of getting into the neckline long of this Adam and Eve double bottom, and damn, we just perfect back test and we pumped back up. So what can we say? You know, you don't need to listen to everything that I say. You know, my projection here still, and I'll be happy to say tomorrow morning, guys, well, tomorrow evening or whatever that time is, that if we were to take out these local highs at 90.5k instead of taking out these lows and forming a lower high somewhere in this region, which is, you know, what I'm looking at here, and finally take out these lows, then I would say, you know, guys, I was completely wrong about forming a lower high here and testing the lows, just because I did not like this structure. But yeah, we are at that point on the higher time frame that where it's getting messy here. It's getting messy, and the lower time frames are becoming a little bit dangerous on literally continuing the range, right? Continue the range and continues, you know, lower highs, sweep up lows, sweep up highs, maybe the lows again. It's coming a little bit dangerous at this point where there is going to be a bigger move that actually either takes out the highs and goes slightly higher, or actually take out the lows and goes, you know, slightly lower here eventually. There is that moment here right now that no matter what happens here at the moment, very locally, when we're looking at a impulse down, lower high, and another next move to the downside, it all could be part of a complex correction, right? As explained, this could be the low of the E wave in a complex WXY, which is like, you know, how so? Well, there is that possibility. This is getting so messy at the moment that, you know, I am pretty neutral on the direction that the market takes in the next coming weeks, as in, you know, rally up here or break down. Yeah, I'm really neutral. I don't have any favorite scenario on the bigger move on the higher time frame. You know, I have no favorite here. There's no favorite. I would not say, I wouldn't know what to say here on the highest probability. This is why, you know, looking for internal trades on the local moves is very lucrative, of course, and that's what we try to do here in this range, right? Let's go. I'm tired of the range. Me too, man. Well, you know, you're gonna try and long the lows and short the highs. Today, to be fair, Andy, today has been a strange day. Alex, it has been a little bit of a tricky day. 6-hour breakout, says Stephen Dupe. After this week, it should start to show us what the trend is. I would say, happens, mate. You're risking too much. Prally. On Solana started an uptrend on the 24-minute, looking for a long off the 7/8 Fibonacci. Andy, there's bearish RSI in the 5-minute, man. That's why I attempted a short at 89.1k. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what tools you're using, right? And someone said here in the comment section, we've had some pretty bearish RSI, probably overbought on the 5-minute, but I don't like to, I don't use RSI or MACD or money flow. You got too many, well, it's just, it all depends on your trading style, of course. You know, I can't say it doesn't work. Of course it works. A lot of the things works. Of course it's a strange day. Ugly candle on the 1 hourly time frame. Let's take a look at the 1 hourly time frame. Ugly candle. Just another wick. Just another week in the range. A little bit of wishful thinking here if you believe that this high was going to be taken with this pump. But yeah, it's been very, very, you know, who knows? In this range, you know, who knows? Who knows? You know, it's just ranging, you know, highs and lows. Not been an easy scenario. But if I'm honest with you, the problem that has, you know, I took a few shorts in the last week. There was one right over here that I had to take profit last weekend just because of the extension, right? We mentioned this on a Sunday stream. Guys, the short that I got in here basically was on last Friday. I wanted the lows to be taken. This was my target zone, right? The short from last Friday. And yeah, that was all good and great till we had a big range bounce throughout the weekend. And I was, you know, I already thought I need to take the profits from the short because I don't think that this has anything to do with an impulse here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Fourth wave was really overextending in time. I'm thinking, yeah, this is just going to be some nonsense inside of the range that's going to extend. It's probably going to take the high and maybe take out the low. We didn't end up taking out the low. This is what's more interesting here right now. Look at the last few days of the week. If I didn't take profit here, this would have been a waste of time of the short from last Friday. Luckily, I did take, you know, over 60% of the profits from that short, obviously leaving some open, but rest of it got stopped out at break even. Long that was taken from here got stopped out. The rest of the position got stopped out at break even, but had to take profit eventually on the movement up to test the recent highs because I was interested in shorts last week. But you know, imagine you have to take profits at the recent levels. You know, if anybody's attempting a short here, it is true that testing the lows is like the zone right there. You know, it would be lucrative to you know, it would be a target zone. It's about time, especially when you formed higher lows throughout the last week that haven't got below 86.3. It's a realistic projection, right? Sweep those lows. But if you do get a drop here, say that we drop in the next coming hours, right? We form a drop and the price ranges, tests the lows here again, and it just gets a massive bounce and it continues ranging. You know, you need to take profit, guys. The price didn't want to nuke down. You're ranging, you formed a zigzag again, and it's just not breaking down. So if you're just going to start ranging here, you just don't know if the price is going to end up popping up or popping down. Preferably you get the momentum building, right? You get the move down, little bounce, and momentum, you know, get the lows taken already. But if you start forming a leg down here and then bounce and ranging, screw that. You know, I need to take profit if I'm attempting a short from this zone, right? And this is what happened to me on Friday. Yeah, I was in favor of hitting these lows, or at least the recent lows here. Very likely to take out those lows if you were to roll over to form that fifth wave. That was my idea here. Guys, I'm shorting here, want to take profit at the lows. But then we got this bounce, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not liking it. I need to take the profits here because, you know, we're probably not going to claim the lows. We had a few scenarios here. that we did on the stream on Sunday. This could be a contracting diagonal, ends up in a 3-waver. It ends up in a multiple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or it actually forms a WXY here. Zigzag down, wave X, and another zigzag down. And, I would be interested in the longs. But realizing that so many scenarios at this point with this big rangy bounce, which, most commonly you're going to believe that this is a bear flag, right? Just to get continuation down. And it didn't happen in the end. So what can we say? It's been a strange month, I'd say. Rangy. It absolutely has. Mariella, much love to you. Much love to you. Anyway, let's do a light recount here on the stream, because it has been right now over 3 hours on stream. I got some. Let's take a look at Solana. Shall we take a look at some altcoins, guys? FOMC minutes. Any reaction, Andy? FOMC minutes is in 2 hours from now. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, it's in 2 hours from now. At least it says 11 p.m. UAE time here, plus 4 UTC. But yeah, want to be cautious as well on Ethereum, please. Scalper's paradise. Yeah. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Loving the long streams, Andy. Alex, much love to you. Thank you very much, my man. Don't give up and try again. New ideas revealed every time. Exactly. Next week, I should start to show us the trend. Yeah, exactly. We could extend this range still, guys. The thing is, sweeping up the highs and sweeping up the lows still, and literally still ranging here in between this 90k and low 80k levels. We could still, regardless of the direction here, sweep up highs, sweep up lows, and then you're literally not breaking out, right? You're literally, continuing the much larger range. You're just sweeping up the lows and the highs of the range that we formed in the last 2 weeks. Anyway, let's take a look at Ethereum. Enough about talking about the range here, guys. But let me just go around the table and do a light recount. Let me see how many likes we do have, guys. It would be awesome to get the range here, guys. Almost 300 likes. That's good enough, guys. Let's take a look at Ethereum. I do have some stuff ready for Ethereum. Andy, this range will continue till the 12th of January, says Momo here. Absolutely. Yeah, getting 30% dumps in a bull market, not that strange anymore. Who's been here before knows that. Absolutely, Meme Cat. That is totally true. But yeah, so Momo is saying here the range is going to continue until the 12th of January. It could just extend from first, second, third week of January. So yeah, anyway, let's take a look at Ethereum right away for somebody here. Diesel, I do have some stuff here ready on Ethereum. But I do see Ethereum, but interesting higher time frame analysis where Ethereum is at the moment. If we pull out a Fibonacci from the lows that was created here in April to the highs, the golden pocket is the one that is reacting, right? It got a nice reaction here in November and it got a pretty decent move up of $500. And I was in favor of this potentially being a wave 4, guys. I really was in favor of this scenario being a wave 4 and another new all-time high. The fact that Ethereum did not break out. Luckily, I sold 20% of my spot bags of Ethereum here. Would have been nice to sell more, guys, but we had to take profit at all-time high. Anybody that's been buying Ethereum in the last few years, right? Regardless if it's at 1,500, 2,000, you get to almost $5,000, reaching the previous all-time high. That was my strat. I need to scale out here. I couldn't manage to scale out much because we just hit all-time high and we dumped down after a few weeks, right? So I do think that Bitcoin eventually will reach all-time high, and I'm not sure if it's going to be in 2026. There is that chance. Some people are speculating about the 4-year cycle is broken. and that we got the business cycle, that we are going to get the money printer going on in 2026, guys. But the 4-year cycle has been pretty spot on for the last few cycles anyway, for Bitcoin. So topping out in Q4 of 2025 is kind of what you expect. October, November, December. So we did end up peaking out in anyway, we're here to do a little bit of Ethereum. What's interesting about Ethereum, we've got a few levels here on the chart. VWAP, it is downtrending. For me, this is without a doubt an impulse. I wasn't too in favor of this wave 4, bit shallow, but still still the scenario here for Ethereum. And this, for me, is extremely corrective price action. Lots of overlap. We're coming down to the golden pocket. I mean, we're still maintaining higher lows here. Eventually, if you want to break this structure of maintaining higher lows, you need to get beneath $1,400. And the golden pocket is holding here quite nicely. But what would be interesting here for Ethereum on the higher time frame is sweeping the recent lows here at $2,600 if we are considering a swing, right? If you did miss out on the golden pocket bounce, to take advantage of this, or short here, a lower high right there, I think it's more interesting starting to look for swing longs, because we did move down significantly already here on Ethereum. And I would like a test of the recent lows here that we did have from November, which is sitting at $2,600. And we got such a solid level here that this is why we basically got the bounce. And we got this nice solid range, point of control, golden pocket got the bounce. It would be nice to eliminate those people that are longing, and obviously look for that point of control. There's a monthly level that hasn't been tapped, monthly close and open, that we have from May and June. And I would be more interested in looking for longs in this zone, or actually buying some Ethereum, just because this momentum to the downside, I'm not favoring anything impulsive here. There's so much three-wavy structure, lots of overlap. I can't fit a diagonal in this zone properly. So it looks very, very corrective. And eventually, if the price were to come down here on Ethereum to the 2,500 range, just slightly below this level, I would consider a failed breakdown. Sweep the lows to get a major bounce, regardless if it forms another lower high here, but obviously with the potential of breaking out. So will we get that movement? That is the question. It looks very bottomy formation here. Price has really, really slowed down significantly from the drops we had in November. So it's a zone to start thinking about reversal, that is for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer here. We didn't quite reach the point of control of the range of the last, between 2024 and 2025. This would be the sweet spot on the higher time frame when we consider higher, swing longs that could take many, many weeks to develop. We only got the bounce at the golden pocket, which on its own, golden pocket with this consolidation range highs. Ideally, we do hit a bigger level, which is a monthly with the point of control at $2,500. That would be a really, really interesting, nice bounce that I would see happening here on Ethereum. Of course, will we get down there? That is the question. Or will we just, already pump from this zone? It really all depends on Bitcoin, of course. But if you ask me, a good zone, well, that would be a good zone. So alerts need to be set. You need to be ready if that low is claimed, just because it's a high probability bouncing area, right? Just when we consider the confluence at 2,500, you got a monthly level, the point of control of 2024 and 2025. You know, it just would be we did actually bounce at the second highest volume node. As you can see, the second highest volume node, which is not the point of control, is the one that got the bounce. So yeah, naturally, you know, you're looking for that bounce at that support. If Bitcoin is going to end up being, you know, rolling over to test 80K, I would highly speculate that Ethereum would follow through eventually, and that would be the zone to get the bounce. If you miss this one, then don't miss this one, right? Will we get that move down? Well, we're gonna have to see. This is like the daily time frame, so this might take several weeks. We might even bounce from here to higher levels. So, but we are downtrending. This movement to the upside doesn't look extremely bullish. You do have a 5 waver here, but there's overlap. A contracting diagonal does not fit because your wave 5 is longer than your wave 3. So all very corrective, which means there's a very, very high chance that this low is going to be claimed later on, regardless if it's going to be in the next 1 to 2 weeks or next couple of months, if the range does continue here. But movement up, lots of overlap, not looking impulsive. I would be expecting these lows to be claimed, just like the lows on Bitcoin at 80K to be claimed at some point in the next coming months, if not weeks. So yeah, this is like the opportunity zone. Literally 2,500 on Ethereum. That's where I would be interested. I'm not interested in shorts or selling Ethereum down here. I would be more interested in, you know, looking for that reversal and strong levels of support to get the bounce eventually in the coming weeks, if not months, right? So yeah, let me just go around the table. Let's get that like button smashed, guys. Thank you very much for joining today's stream. Much love to everybody. Okay, let me just go around the table and see if we can reach 300 likes. We're currently at 273. I will just go around the table, get a drink of water, and we'll see how many likes we actually have. All right. Okay. Now, yes. Let me just double check that like. Oh yeah, we got above 300. Absolutely awesome, guys. Much love to everybody here. Let's meme cat. I've been in all 3 bull runs. Vegas Claw here, an absolute legendary cryptocurrency Bitcoin investor by the looks of things here, because he's been in 3 bull runs. I've only been in 2, so you're already 1 bull run ahead of me. So yeah, Vegas Claw, much love to you. Paz María Vallejos, much love, Paz María. Here we go, las chilenas aquí juntas. Vámonos. Come on, guys. 300 for the legend, Maria. Mariela, much love. Mariela. Getting confused here. Meme Cat, what are you talking about? We are getting new all-time highs. I can't believe only 300 likes. It is what it is, Mariela. Bear market vibes, of course. People losing interest. We're in crypto, in trading. What can we say, right? It's okay, no pasa nada. Thanks for the long live stream. Much love to you. Flip 136. Let's go back to Bitcoin. For Ethereum, I have to say, very, very squeezed range. We're in a very long range as well on Ethereum here. And it's also talking about sweeping highs and sweeping lows. So big support eventually here with, I mean, this is most of the volume has been created here at 2,900. Depending on where Bitcoin is, maybe 3,080, these lower highs. I'm not sure if this would mirror the 91k level for Bitcoin. But if Ethereum, say that Bitcoin reaches in the next coming days 90 to 91k zone, right, where we do have all of that liquidity, and I would be interested in a short here on Bitcoin above these highs at 90.5k. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge here. Either SFPs from the fair value gap. We want to be aware of the breakout, of course, of the fair value gap, but also what I would consider, the high volume node right there. There's going to be two major trigger points here for me. And remember, this ain't shorting till it reverses, guys. We are at danger zones. We are at danger zones. It either pops out, right, at some point, or pops down. You want to have guidelines, right? This is what I try to teach, because a lot of people are just going to short and add to the shorts, or they're going to long and add to the longs, right? I'm just going to long, I'm just going to short, and there will be a moment that it ain't going to work out, right? The price is going to leave the range, and the moment you could do great here by adding to shorts and adding to longs. I'm just going to short the pumps, right? Grid bots have been doing amazing here in the last 2 weeks. Grid bots are absolutely crushing it at the moment, because you're just going to short the pumps and you're just going to long the pumps, right? Sell, long till it reverses. Sell till it reverses. Long till it reverses, right? That's what you. There's going to be a moment, right? All of those people that do attempt these trades, you've probably done pretty okay in the last couple of weeks. I'm just going to short the pumps till 90k, 91, 92, and I'm just going to long the dumps 86, 85, whatever. There's going to be a moment that we're going to get an aggressive move out, right? So there's going to be a moment that that's not going to work, and you're going to short, and the grid bot is going to go absolutely bananas here, and it's going to break. So we always want to trade the guidelines. I mean, that's what I want to do, guys. That's how I learned how to be defensive and manage risk, because I used to trade like that as well. I think everybody has traded like that, right? Let me know in the comment section if you've traded like that, where you've just, I'm just going to add to the short, I'm just going to add to the longs, right? Yeah, that is okay as long as you manage risk. I'm in favor of adding to a position if you keep it in that 3% risk tolerance, right? The moment there has been some not recently, but I would say about 2 years ago, where you add to the short, I reach my limit of risk, which is 3%, and I'm tempted to say, well, only on this trade I'm going to risk 5% of my capital as stop loss. That's it. You're breaking the rule. That's it. You're overextending the risk on one single trade, and it has to be a rule that you cannot break ever, guys. I'm telling you, every time I've broken that rule in the past, the trade that goes against me, then eventually you lose control, basically. And trading is all about maintaining the control of your emotions and not, adding to position and overextending the risk up to 5-10% of your capital, even 20%, or even adding everything and burning an account, right? Which has happened to every single trader, I think, in the world, right? It's inevitable that when you dip your toes into the trading world, that you're going to get into, I'm just going to add to the short or add to the long. Everybody does it, right? I've been there, I've done that. It turns out well for a while, but long term, you end up, the price ends up moving against your trade at some point, right? And then you're like, holy shit, oh my God, I burnt my account, right? You build up so nicely an account for 1 or 2 months, and then you burn it because you're just trading irresponsibly. This whole thing of adding to shorts or adding to longs is not going to work out at some point, and it will burn your account. It's happened to everybody, guys, and it still happens to maybe a lot of you people watching. And till you do not stop doing that, you will. When you stop doing that, you realize that hey, I'm actually not burning any accounts, and I'm actually making some profits because I'm just cutting my losses, right? Cut the losses, guys. Cut them off. There's a new trade tomorrow. Risk management has always tried to be my sweet spot on the channel, right? So anyway, the guidelines here, this is a very interesting, lucrative area for a liquidity grab, SFP kind of thing. And I would have two main guidelines here that I do not want the price to break out successfully. That is the point of control of this range, and also understanding that we have the fair value gap, right? There's a fair value gap here, and price could slice through the fair value gap. So there's two main rejection points that I see here at 90.7k. Well, between 90.5k and 91.5k, and that is either the fail of break of this fair value gap, which you sweep up above 90.5k, which is grabbing all of that liquidity, right? So you kind of attempt the breakout, hit 91k maybe, and then reject on the higher time frame, and really getting a strong rejection whenever the price wants to get up there. And the guideline is the price needs to maintain beneath the low here. It needs to reject from the fair value gap low, basically. If it breaks above that level, I am in no interest of this short till we actually get all the way up to the point of control. I would treat the point of control here, the highest volume node of this range between November and December, to literally look for that rejection point as well. So you're above it, not interested, it might fly. If you do get below it, then obviously I'm looking for that entry trigger for the correction, right? So there's two major guidelines here that I like in between 90k and 92k, which eventually is the fair value gap low, the lower highs that we have after the drop, which is really where we have that liquidity, or the point of control at 91.4k. So it's one of those two levels where I want to have my stop loss above the liquidity grab, right? So yeah, I mean, this would be a higher time frame eventually. 4 hourly, this will take many days to develop. It's not a scalp. So, it can get confusing. You might come up here, get down, come back up, back test the level, right? And then roll over. Can be a little bit challenging. Anyway, Bitcoin, lower high. Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Let's take a look at the NASDAQ here, see what's going on. By the way, guys, if you are not trading already, you have lots of experience. Much love to everybody. Oh boy, adding to position with no limit. Rex City. Mariela, been there, done that. Who hasn't been there and done that, guy, right? Who hasn't been there and done that? See you soon again, Mariela. Much love. Much love to you. Who hasn't done that, says Memecat as well. Or who wasn't? Is this pump before new dump? I've been in favor of forming a lower high here for today, okay? It did stretch more than I expected, but I'm not believing that this is something bullish, but price did overextend a few $100s more than I expected, I have to say. Yeah, what can we say here? I am in favor of the dump. Would be nice to sweep up those lows. Still have that big liquidity down there. Not too far off of hitting those highs at 90, above 90k. Not too far off, I have to say. Yeah, let's somebody was saying in the comment section that we would be happy to long the neckline again of that Adam and Eve. Man, if you didn't get on the first bounce, I wouldn't be, I mean, what can I say? I wouldn't be too happy. Of course you can bounce from here, but wouldn't be a fan here of longing again the neckline. Yeah, so Mariella, much love. I think Mariella was leaving here the stream. Much love to you. Here's another pattern for you. Head and shoulder on the 5 minute. Head and shoulder on the 5 minute. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're talking about this head and shoulder. That's head hasn't been formed yet, right? Maybe could be on the formation. We did hit the 1.618 extension in the end. Above the 1.618 extension. This is like really, really rare. 3. Yeah, really rare for an expanding flat that a B wave hasn't claimed the lows. If it were to be still that pattern, of course, still possible, of course, but hitting the 1.618 extension plus is rare without a doubt. But man, this range has got me crazy, guys. You know, this range not being a easy range for me. This short was acceptable. This liquidity grab of this lower high SFP, you know, for me this was nothing bullish either, because what you had here is a leg up, 3-wave move. If after a 3-wave move you claim the lows, you're literally looking for a for this to be a correction or an ABC flat, which was the case, right? You got an ABC flat here, and then you got a massive rally up. Once this pump stopped in this zone and start overlapping here with this pivot, I was, you know, more in favor of this being some kind of a 3-wave structure, and this is why double top here was acceptable. I was in a short at this zone, and I had a tight stop loss. I was either going to attempt this one that played out nicely, and if I would have got stopped out of that one, I would have attempted a double top here. That was the overall plan. This ended up moving down in the end. Anybody that is not signed up, guys, on the exchanges down below, make sure to do so. Bluffin, you got Velto as well, decentralized platform, BTCC Bybit weeks. Okay, make sure to do so. I've got a bonus in the next coming days for you. I will be leaving my DM Telegram down below in the description. We're launching a new product for 2026, which is obviously bringing in setups. That's the most what most of the people want. What people want, more setups, and that product is going to be launched in 2026, guys. So make sure to sign up with one of the links down below, because you will be getting a bonus in the next coming days. And I will be leaving the Telegram down below. So you got Bluffin with the great bonuses, of course, $1,000 deposit bonus. You deposit 7K, you're getting $1,000 on top of that, guys, for your trading account, which is absolutely awesome. It just increases your capital. Take advantage, guys. Bluffin would be, you know, the suggested centralized exchange. If not, make sure to check out Velto, guys, because Velto, you just connect your wallet directly, okay? No middleman. You have full custody of your funds, and you're trading into a very high liquid platform here, which is absolutely awesome. Check out Velto, guys. There's a small little tutorial as soon as you click the link down below for Velto, guys, okay? Little tutorial on text for Velto. How much high can it go from this current position? Bitcoin, how high can it go? Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. No, but seriously here, I would have to say I'm seriously not in favor of this being, this is just it looks like it's going to be another 3-wave structure, guys. We've had so many 3-wave down, 3-wave up. This move down that could, still looks okay for an impulse, but the waves that we've had have been extremely 3-wavy, flat in the middle, so that moves up, 3-wave ends up dumping down. I am favoring this to be a 3-wave structure that obviously ends up forming a lower high. I wouldn't say it would stretch out to hit these highs. So I am more in favor of a leg down here throughout the next coming days. So how high can this go? At this moment, I would say, this is probably close to topping out if it hasn't already. That's what I've been favoring here on the stream. Looking at the golden pocket, it did stretch out a little bit from golden pocket. Local double tops. If this ends up rolling down in the coming days, eventually the risk to reward, it's okay to get stopped out once or twice. But if this ends up rolling down, I do think it has a very, very good chance in testing this low. So the idea here is being patient on the possible projection that could develop in 1-2 days, right? But it all depends on the price action that we form here tomorrow, today and tomorrow, the rest of the day. Because, this is like from the short that I had on Friday. I was like, okay, great. Yeah, I'm going to look for the lows to be tested. We got an awesome drop. So I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's see if we get a 4-5 here. The next few days, we got a massive range bounce here. And I had to take profits from the short here because I realized that this is an independent wave from the movement down already, just because it extended so long in time. And yeah, it could have formed a zigzag wave X and another zigzag. This is an individual wave, but if this is a 3-wave down and this is overextending, not being part anymore of the movement down, this could either be 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. You end up moving higher. It could be a contracting diagonal, which is literally what happened, where you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the correction, and then this, so it ends up being all a 3-wave structure. But yeah, the moment if you are short from anywhere in this zone and you get this bounce so long, you wanna take the profits. We didn't take out the lows in the end. So yeah, I'm in favor of maybe this area forming a lower high and claiming this low. But as explained before, if we get the drop, we move down now, we get a little bounce in the next coming hours, and then we do this, but then the price starts doing this and really separating from the movement to the downside, it's gonna have to be time to take the profits, because ideally we want to see follow through here, shallow pullbacks, and then just continue moving down, right? You want to see the movement aggressive. You don't want to dance around here after a drop, because we're just extending the range and extending the triangle, and you get the deal, right? So yeah, the target is to come down to 86.5, but if we faff around here tomorrow, then I would say, guys, we didn't roll over in the end, right? We 3-waved. This is extending too long. What can we say? Time to collect the profits. I have taken a long. What a legend, absolute legend. Be interesting to see where the VWAP is. Yeah, momentum is still bullish, for the day, but when we've overextended so much here, not a fan of longing now when we've already had a significant rally throughout today. Would be interested in where the VWAP is. Haven't checked out where VWAP is. Not even the VWAP has been tested throughout the momentum of today. VWAP is coming in right now at the neckline. That's where we currently got a bounce a few hours ago. Could you get another reaction at the 88k level with the VWAP that hasn't been tested throughout today? Maybe a little scalp long at the VWAP with the neckline again. Could be interesting for a scalp. But another long position here. Yeah, not a fan of a long here myself. Could get a little bounce here to test these lower highs. Yeah, brain's absolutely fried right now, so not going to do any lower time frame analysis. Been over 3 hours now on the stream, legends. Thank you very much for joining today. Let's see what happens in the next 24 hours. Tomorrow is the day that the year finishes, guys. So I will be doing a live stream. It won't be that long, just because, you know, people have stuff to do, of course. I will come in for an hour or two tomorrow. When is FOMC? That is in 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'm not going to stretch it, guys. I'm exhausted. Maybe rip into Fed minutes and then dump. That's also a possibility. Stay cautious. We got the FOMC minutes in 1 hour and 30 minutes from now, guys. So any local positions should be taken with good risk management. You might get a pump, you might get a dump, you might get a pump and dump, or a dump and pump. News events always can provide that local volatility that can, you know, wick you out. So manage risk accordingly with the FOMC minutes, which is in 1 hour and 30 minutes from now, guys. Thank you so much for joining the stream today. The news is in 1 hour and 30 minutes, okay? FOMC minutes, 11 p.m. It is currently 9:30 p.m. UAE time. So yeah. Andy, love your analysis. You're a legend. Have a great night. Take care. Alex, much love. How to connect with you? Please say, I will be leaving the Telegram, my Telegram, in the next coming days, because there's a new product that's launching and I want everybody to be aware of that. If you want a bonus, you will be getting a bonus if you sign up with one of the links, of course. And once you contact me, okay, don't worry, the Telegram, I'm reserving that for the next coming days. Likely going to be a new year. And yeah, we'll be in contact, guys, okay? Thank you very much for joining. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Mariela. Thanks, Six Juanita. Much love. I thought you were ending the live. I am ending the live right now. Thank you, legends, for joining. Thank you for smashing the like button. Been a good one. Been a good one, even though we didn't roll over exactly yet, and it is pushing through, and it looks like the momentum wants to continue. Yeah, not been a tricky area here. Much love. Thank you. Let's see where the price is tomorrow, and we'll analyze the situation on a quick live stream for the last day of the year. Thank you, legends, and I'll see you tomorrow.